at the MCG, a game both teams need to win. We go, let's just have a quick look. We're only 40 seconds before this game's getting underway. Of course, we've got for the Hawks, Ginnivan is an inclusion with Manganus, and of course, McKenzie and Morrison are out. And of course, Manganus is the sub. Lockie Sullivan is a sub for the Magpies. We've got Daniel McStade coming in for the Pies with Jeremy Howe, which is a big in. Lockie Sullivan also coming in. Out, well, we've got a couple of decent outs there for the Pies. Harrison, Schultz, and Frampton. We go. There is the team lineups there. And this game is about to get underway. So you can always just go back and check out or pause this if you're watching this after to see the teams. There we go. Just looking at the positions on the ladder. Of course, Hawthorn, Collingwood sitting 12th and 13th, only one game out of the top 8. They both need to win this if they want to keep their seasons alive. All right, folks, the ball is about to be bounced. Let's go down, and we're going for the Pies. Come on, Pies. Good luck.
Component of it, with that becomes a big factor. Massive game, Hutto. Can't wait.
The Hawks return to the big stage. Are they up to the occasion? They're taking on the reigning premiers, Collingwood. The Pies have their own issues. Meek and Cameron, and just squirts forward. Watson, the hand pass to Warple. So the Hawks get the first look. Child and Moore together, not for long. Moore gets it apart and gets the ball in the hands of Josh Dacos and Noble. Gee, Watson was on the fly, wasn't he? Well done, side bottom. They settled down at halfback and playing terrific footy. He and Penderbury, unbelievable, played their 300th game together today. Ambrosio, who was subbed off with injury last week, but he's fit enough to play today. Ned Lee, who played a handful of games for the Hawks, and there's Dan McStay back out there after 230 days since he's done his ACL. Deep kick, McGuinness getting an opportunity. Sits a little ginger as he flew and tries to spoil that. Harvick starting back as well, so they're both in defence.
Deep breath time. Noble's got Ginnivan at the moment against his former teammate. In terms of matchups, no hard tag at the moment. Warple's just squaring off with Nick Dacos, but we know the midfields just go about their business, so just try and find their rhythm at this early stage of the game.
I like the matchup of Quain on Dylan Moore, one of the danger players for the Hawks. I think Quain matches up very well physically.
What a difference a week makes. Last week it was on Jeremy Cameron. Today's on Dylan Moore, one of the star small mids in the competition, pushing forward. Free kick to the Hawks.
So we haven't had a chance to chat about the method of how Hawthorn go about it. Teams have been denying Collingwood the footy through uncontested marks. Not sure that's going to be the way Collingwood go about it. Darcy Moore started well.
He has twice he's taken the initiative, and Marby or Chol has hesitated.
There's going to be a test for Chol if he does that. Well, that's a test for Quain, who's only given so long. And Watson is right on the job. Big tackle from the little man. Chol tries to be deep, a kick away. Look at Deere, just leaves so naturally. Can't take the mark, and Quain scrambles the kick. So the conditions so far are holding. Ambrosio is holding his spot.
That was a panic kick there, wasn't it? That pressure down here is unbelievable at the moment from the Hawks.
Yeah, they're all over the moons inside the forward half particularly. And here's the man.
The other thing is that there's big rain coming. While the ball's dry, you're going to get a couple of goals on the board early. Scoring is going to become difficult.
David soaks it up. Look at how he had the biggest of all the leaps there, and Quain has been busy so far.
So Darcy Moore's been a topic of great conversation, great support from his coach through the week. As you said, Jason's left his man, he's attacked. That's when he plays his very, very best footy. So a little confidence builder early for the skipper.
From all reports, he's never worked harder at training on trying to work on his deficiencies. So he's put that into action early in this game so far. Cameron and Mick, that is going to be a fascinating duel. Newcomb, we saw how dangerous he can be for. So they made the start they needed to the Hawks. They have the first on the board. And no team loves each other more than these Hawkers, and they are all around and getting in on the act.
Well, they'll be excited about it too, because Collingwood had thrown an extra around the stoppage chase. So they had only the five forward. So one extra at the stoppage, yet they get a goal from clearance in their forward 50. It's worth its weight in gold. And Newcomb and Warple, not surprisingly, are the two involved.
Another great tap to space from Lloyd Meek. Moon spoke about him pre-game. He's having an outstanding year. And one thing the Hawks have been very, very good at this year, it's the clearance work. stoppage and clearance wins. Very good. There's the tap into space straight down the front from Meek. And Warple out the back waiting for the hand pass. Finishes well off one step.
Because he'd love that. He'd love that sort of space out the back, Warple. If, in fact, Nick Dacos had responsibility, just some beautiful room for him.
Yeah, last week it was Newcombe on the end. This time he got it off to Warple, who kicked truly. So to go, he started in the goal square, but he's been moved into the middle already. Not at full fitness, we know, but doing his best. Deep again to McGuinness, who flew the pack and drags it down. And that is a fine mark from Reece McGuinness, who's had some opportunities this year with all the injuries and hasn't really been able to grasp these, but been the sub 3 times and now he gets the opportunity here this afternoon.
He's kicked 12 goals, but you're 100% right. If ever there was a season in which he could have consolidated a spot for himself, it would have been this one so far. Maybe there's still time.
He's been accurate, 12 goals too. Bobby Hill, the only Pie to have kicked over 20 goals so far this year with 21. McGuinness wasn't a particularly solid strike, but he's got the job done. That'll settle his nerves and get him feeling good about being a key Pie this afternoon. And I think when you look at their forward line, we know they've still got injuries and they'd like Myercheck and maybe Mason Cox down there, but they do have McStay back, and I think from a structural point of view, it's more like we saw in previous years.
It does help, but having this man take a contested mark, it looked like Scrimshaw in his 100th game had taken front position away from him. He went to attack the ball, but McInnes' timing is better. He comes with a bit of momentum just as the ball gets there and then gets to the front.
And I know, let's have a look at here. This is why Sicily's a bit of a liability. Look at Sicily here. No, he puts one arm up, goes back. Now, when you're backing back into that, we know it's a horrible place to be, but you've got to go back with conviction and you've got to be able to get both arms up. He didn't on that occasion, wasn't able to help out. Not wasn't his fault, but that's the sort of proposition he is at the moment as a defender.
Third season for McGuinness. He's kicked 3 goals twice this year. Yeah, a relatively high pick at 23 in the 2020 draft.
I think you're right, Gaz. If fully fit, he probably flies across the front to take that.
No question, he got back, and I think he realised that he couldn't go back with the sort of conviction he normally does.
Lipinski watching him closely. We're watching Nick Dacos shuttle out of the middle, one up to the brother and back, and then from half forward, McStay moves out of the square. That is where the searing pass was heading right onto the chest of Dan McStay.
That is as good as you will see. We saw Darcy Fogarty swing onto his left last night as a magnificent hit, but that, Jason,
Pies looking good, Eddie
from
G.
your perspective, as a lead-out, charge-out full forward, that is on a dime.
It's not just the kick, Gaz. It was the vision we'll talk about after McStay has his shot.
Big moment for Dan McStay.
It is.
That's a shame. That's a shame. The kick deserved better because there was a lot of traffic in between Dacos and McStay, so it was also to have the vision and then to execute it and avoid all that traffic. Superb kick.
14 games last year McStay played. Cameron, good opposition from Joel later enough. Of course, the disruption, not certain that was a clean hand pass. Hard for the umpire to see in the mess of players. Maynard, MP committed more. Found a way to get it forward, but as you can see, it's been and the Wizard has a way to get right in front of our cameras, as we saw last week when he kicked the clutch goal late.
Gee, when they go Hawthorn, they go. And it's just so important that Collingwood rather stop them halfway at the halfway mark. They're not going to die wondering today, the Hawks.
Pendlebury onto the ground for the Pies.
Only 3 uncontested marks so far for the Hawks. Lipinski lags it. McInnes, who almost finds him again. Elliott made such a difference to their forward line last week. 2 goals, one was an absolute special. Ward's found himself back in the Hawthorn team in the last couple of weeks. The full stretch McDonald couldn't because Hoskinelli, who's gone back, so he's back into defence with McStay back in the team today. So that's partly what I was talking about with the way they've been able to structure today with the return of McStay.
Yeah, it allows, as you say, Howe to go back, so they're back to familiar territory, and that's going to help Darcy more as well. Looks around, sees his premiership mate, Jeremy Howe next to him.
Cameron very wary there of Meek, and was able to be in prime position and connects with Newcombe, but Pendlebury is right on the job as you would expect.
So Sicily free here. So again, Collingwood send one up to this stoppage. So he now peels off. Whittle goes to that stoppage. He goes to Elliott.
Watson is buzzing around down in the goal square. That's where the ball's headed. Moore, hand pass to Warple. Already has one. He's getting close enough to go for a second now. he'll get more time with the high contact.
Clearance again. So this is why I guess the Magpies are trying to get numbers up.
Just on the move through that stoppage, aren't they? They've got so much confidence in Meek getting his hands on it first. It just gives them confidence to run through those stoppages.
Made a good decision, James Wobble. He saw that he was running into traffic. As soon as he got the high contact, he said, no, I'll stop. Go back and have my time over the ball.
He's only kicked 3 goals for the year coming into today, James Wobble. He already has one. He's been a tremendous player. Even when the Hawks were struggling at the start of the year, he wasn't. And so close to having 2 goals in 9 minutes.
Let's get the mindset of Collingwood here. We know they can be aggressive from fullback kick-ins.
Scores tied up. Howe. It's a cosy little kick into the back pocket. Now Noble takes it and realises he can run. Just gets away. That's the sort of defensive pressure we've become accustomed to from Chol this year for the Hawks. For a big man, the pressure that he applies in the forward fifth.
Yeah, well, he's also been able to hit the scoreboard as well. You look at his numbers from a goal kicking point of view. He's kicked 25 goals for the year. That's a great return.
Been an excellent acquisition, hasn't he?
Well, I think it's when you see those defensive type acts that he becomes a much more rounded player. That's what would thrill Sam Mitchell.
Ginnivan and the goal scorer on Howe. That's 2 kicks away from where we are watching, and Meek takes one of those kicks. Watson! Oh, sneaks out the back, wasn't far away. Maynard has to be more vigilant. Noble knew when to turn. Ginnivan, get ready everybody. Off the left boot, on the bounce. McDonald to the square, Chol and more. He got a lesson in keeping his feet, but Chol frustrated.
Yeah, I tell you, that ball hits the deck in Hawthorn's forward 50, Jace. And it is on. They are on every single loose ball.
Opportunity goes begging though. It's a really good opportunity for Chol to snap that one. Kept his feet, that was the smart thing to do. Just unable to take the opportunity.
Jack Crisp has been in the goals of late. Up to the wing. Cameron couldn't get there, so Weddle had prime opportunity, which he couldn't capture as well. The backup, though, is with Hawthorn. Jaff plays it back through Scrimshaw in game 100. Aim on. Sliding ball to Weddle. Fumbled the mark. Going to have to get used to that in these conditions. Day gets into full stride. And Newcomb, promising build-up. Can Watson get back up over the top? No, the height difference was too great. And Howe, comfortable in those surroundings, gets it up.
But even that gives you an idea of the sort of pressure they're feeling. So he's got a height advantage, best mark of the modern era, and elects to double-fist it to the boundary.
Yeah, it's a good point, Gaz.
Speed through the midfield, Gaz looks a little bit dominant for the Hawks at the minute for mine.
Again, Meek. Cameron over the top, put it straight down the throat at Proust. He can kick him right there with his eyes closed. Hawks get the second. Big day for Luke Proust, of course. He becomes the greatest games record holder for a player recruited as a rookie. It's been an incredible story, and he's finally looks like he's getting back to some good fitness as well. We know with the groin issues he's had, Jason. He's played a lot as a sub this year, but that's just his 10th goal for the season. But it's a good one.
It's a great goal. It's great to see Bruce hitting the scoreboard early, but 2 stoppage goals for the Hawks, and both coming off the fist or the palm of Lloyd Meek. He's the one doing the damage, Gaz.
Yeah, look at Bruce on the move here. So Quaynor's got his back to the play. Maynard it was who had his back to the play. They are aggressive and really aggressive around stoppage because of their confidence in Meek's ability to get the ball vaguely in the area that they're running onto. And right now, it's just it's a little watch. It's a little concern if you're a Collingwood fan, just the speed and their abilities to score from stoppage, but also win ground ball.
Cameron breaks with the hit, but as you saw, went straight to Day and then to Nash. Ward with that left boot off the wing brings it back into the corridor. Newcomb, a quick glance was all that was required. Plays out in front of Moore. Can't quite get the run of it in any sort of freedom. So back to D'Ambrosio. They flick the hands around. Watson to Weddle. Now the kick. Here it comes. It was predicted by the Pies defence and well anticipated by Lipinski. You can see how many reinforcements are back there.
Absolutely, and that's why it was the wrong option from Weddle. He was kicking into heavy traffic. He had to go deep up. Look for a contest where they can try and maintain the ball inside their attack 50.
In a spread for the Pies, an aggressive kick towards McStay. Ready for him as Hill. He wants it back from side bottom. And his wish is granted. And the delivery to Elliott again. Far from perfect. Helps Hardwick out considerably. He decides that he can keep it in. Double grab from Sicily. And Hill.
It's only a free kick here.
Free, Will.
there's an issue with James.
It's about the system contest there as well. That's two.
Yeah. I wonder how long they hold their nerve on that, because he didn't jump at the ball like we know James Sicily to jump, so that could be saying I want to go full.
Little lap for charity. Pendlebury to side bottom. Richards waits for the crumbs. They never arrive because Kruger has either double or triple grabbed that. That's a fine mark.
Well, it is. It's a big watch on James Sicily. Well, they've won the footy back in their forward 50 here. Kruger should be able to get their second goal on the board, but it is an area of concern for Hawthorn, and Collingwood should prey on it. James Sicily looks vulnerable in the air, no question about it.
Well, goals 2 last week, Nathan Kruger, but he had gone 3, 1, 1 and 2 in his 4 previous games on return. That should be simple, and he can't believe that he's missed from so close. And looking at your face, Jason, you can do it.
I don't understand. That's just a really poor ball drop. He's just completely shanked it. He was horrified as soon as he missed it. It's a let-off for the Hawks. They've got to get organised defensively. If Sicily's going to be down there, he's got to be able to play his role, because they look disorganised at the moment.
Deere and Child both had an opportunity. Neither could drag it down, but Child on the follow-up strides away. Woodson, as you saw, didn't take possession. Nash tackling issue from Lipinski. Grabbed the one arm. That's the best he could muster. Mark off to Moore. Hill versus Hardwick. Hardwick has the best vantage point, and was interfered with. Hawthorn were confident that it was just a confidence thing for Sicily. Obviously, he's injured, but he worked through it earlier in the year.
He hasn't competed aerially the first 2 times he's had the opportunity to. That's the big problem at the moment.
So with Hardwick, of course, got switched up forward and kicked 4 goals in that thriller and gather round. How the big spoil. Ginnivan, Dacos, Ned Long, straight in. Significant traffic. Look at the multiple. There's 4 Hawks.
Great pressure, and their ability to get to and lay tackles, and if not tackle, put enough pressure on. That's why Darcy Moore kicks the ball out to the boundary, out of their back half, as opposed to coming through the middle of the ground, which we've seen over time. So they've started really well. Energy's up.
No room for Pendlebury to get a handball away. Day tries to shake off Chris, and you know what he did to Ginnivan off the left boot to the square. Chol Moore, very vigilant that time, wasn't letting him get past.
8-3 clearances. 8-3 clearance in favour of Hawthorn. Dominant.
Bounding back is Howe. Well placed for Hoskin Elliott. You can see the look on his face. There was nothing close to convincing him of anything short. So down the line he goes. Kruger and Weddle. Frost got displaced. Weddle and Nash. Now Joey Richards. Dacos. Chris trying to track it down. Hammond had a better side of things. Elliott was also in the mix. Rather adventurous and hopeful handball more than anything from Richards. And so we're back out of bounds. Quick assessment halfway through this opening term.
I love the pressure from the Hawks. They're manic around the footy, and their clearance work is a concern for the Pies. 7 points. I think Collingwood will take that just in a minute.
More of the ball for the Hawks, but it's only 7-5, the inside 50, so territory not too bad at the moment for the Pies.
Dacos is relocated. He's gone forward. Interesting manoeuvre, that one. Amon, meantime, working with Ginnivan. Back to Nash. Had some terrific form last week. Down along the line. Got all the way through to Joel. They may have fooled more by not taking possession, but he didn't get the help he was after. Dacos and Moore. Scramble for Hoskin Elliott. It's out. Finn McGuinness and Lockie Sullivan are the subs.
I think Dacos had 5 touches, so the sub just sitting quiet at the moment, Hutto.
We'll be following Nick's stats, I'm pretty sure. Finn McGuinness closely. Lipinski gives them a chance in the middle. Jaff and side bottom. Not clear, said the umpire. McDonald with the swoop. Hardwick, Jaff again, a wingman these days. Can still give them the dash. Not quite ideal for Weddle, who's trying to work out which way. He turns fully back into reverse. And the Hawks have good numbers on that wing. Sicily.
All 18 Collingwood players in the defensive half of the ground.
We're all about a kick away from Sicily, but he can kick it a long way. It's a 3-quarter number. It's a low ball for Deere. And his opportunity which now passed. Ginnivan from the corner. Hill. He's just
just a moment earlier when Bobby Hill went one-handed, which I didn't like, in this game with so much at stake. Just keep it really simple and basic. Head over the footy stuff. We know how talented he is.
Players were assembling for a throw-in now. They realise it's a ball up close to the line. Nash and Long, the unlikely ruckman. Watson's going. Squashed play on. The soccer from Ginnivan.
Been lively, Jack, hasn't he? It's a fantastic start to the game.
And they should be on absolute red alert whenever there's a stoppage in the forward half of the ground for Collingwood. For Hawthorn, Collingwood have to be on their mettle because Hawthorn look incredibly dangerous.
Well, here's one right now. Where is the danger coming from? Warple's on the move. Ginnivan being watched by Maynard. They leave Moore open, who's pretty good at drawing a free kick. Can't on that occasion. And look at the mass desperation from both teams. But underneath all of that, I think it was Josh Dacos under there. It's holding the ball.
Yeah, he's claimed that he's pulled that in, the umpire. I'd like to see it again. There's that many players here. But again, it was Moore who had first possession from a stoppage, despite the fact that Collingwood had more numbers down. So McDonald kicks this, 8 inside 50s, 3 goals, 6 scores from 8 entries. It started well. Let's see here, Josh Dacos. Yeah, he dives on the footy, no question.
So Conor McDonald, 16 goals, 14 for the season and 5 misses. So he should be able to slot this one through. And that's the difference. At one end they couldn't, at this end they can. And the Hawks have made just the start they were after, and they sneak out to a match-high 13-point lead. And again, you can see that Hawthorn spirit on display.
Makes Kruger's miss even more valuable, doesn't it? I mean, instead of the goal at one end, they go down, they maintain possession down there, the pressure builds. And look, he just felt compelled to do something, Josh Douglas. He's in that position where he's on his knees, really shouldn't be touching the ball, but it's right there. What do you do as a player? Your natural instincts to go get the ball.
It's a textbook free kick.
Yeah.
It's absolutely there. The concern here is that Collingwood have been inside 50 only 5 times. Now, we've got 6 minutes and a bit to go. 8 games in a row they've had less than 50 inside 50s, the Magpies. So they just haven't been getting it in enough to get a really good look at it. And only 5 entries here deep into the first quarter.
Hawks have won 8 of the last 10, and they looked likely early. Out of the middle, Ruckman tumble, Choloway doesn't. Streaks out of the middle, can put it to the square. Standoff between Bruce and Plano. Strength to win the initial battle, and to at least clear the immediate danger. And side bottom is close enough, is he?
Yeah. I think Sidebottom was only a metre off gathering the ball.
Fair enough. We'll defer to the great man. That was a great one-on-one from Crane.
Yep.
Deep against Luke Bruce. He did a magnificent job.
So the clearances are an issue though, aren't they? 12-4.
Big issue right now.
Free access out of the middle for their forwards. Nash back inside again. Dacos first play on it. Look at the Hawks lining up. Ward, Ginnivan, he was out, the ball was in. Warple on, cross the bounces for the Collingwood defence. Moore plays safety to go in a rush. Just hold things up. Day against the challenge. Long, the former Hawk threading the handball. Things open up for Benro. Even he's got a touch of the wobbles and the fumbles. Long just slaps it forward in hope more than anything. Hardwick leaves them all behind. Has a bounce, and they challenge them again. Probing kick, sliding ball forward, well handled by Deere. Plays it back to Moore. Craner again.
He's been terrific down there. He's holding up really well. They've now 11 inside 50s. The pressure is so real that they just get rid of the ball as soon as they get their hands on it, the Collingwood defenders.
Side bottom, identified Kruger well.
It's the first bit of composure we've had for a little while coming out of their back half.
Elliott wants it long. It's up. He can't get a run initially. Frost has extra height and support, and Weddle just drifting. Become more of that true defender this year. Not bouncing the ball as much, but he hasn't forgotten. He's had 2. Thinks about a third. Again, asking questions of the Pies. The man they used to love, they now boo.
Leaks deep, one-on-one with Josh Dacos right now. If they get over the top of Cameron, who's pushing back.
Can he see the size inequality in the goal square? Leaks still wants it.
He's still got Josh Dacos in the goal square, 1 out.
He's not convinced Luke Bruce. Eventually he goes. Can't get the full access though. Cameron is there as the disruptor. Crisp wrong-sided. Gets enough. Partially smothered. D'Ambrosio, Richards, watchful, tackling. And we have a quick call for the ball.
Every time a Collingwood player's at the ball, there is 2 and 3 Hawthorn players at them, which leads to this sort of pressure, up over 200.
Cameron the tap to Goey.
So he's rolled up as well to Goey, who was the deeper forward, so the Hawks have got... Let's have a number 8 on to spare here off just outside 50.
He can launch if it happens to come back his way. Meek reaches over towards Walpole. 3 pies to deal with it. And to go. Didn't sum that up well. Sawhill on the horizon. Elliott works for him. The bounce will give Weld an opportunity, and the fumble an even better one. Stand off for a moment. Elliott can run over. Kabir wins the day. And the Hawks fans will love that. They love everything about their team just at the moment. Maybe not so to depart from Nash, who gets overwhelmed by the Collingwood numbers. And they lock it away.
They would have loved to Jeff had the composure to look down the line, see 3 Collingwood players and square the ball, and then Connor Nash drops the easiest of marks, but just says that their head's just perfectly in the game at the moment, the Hawks.
Cameron wins that little mini battle. Nash flips back though to Crisp, and then to Bobby Hill. Didn't take possession. Maybe a little over-ambitious there, Crisp. Handed back by Amon, so creative. When Day gets the footy, usually good things happen, and they chain it up again. Jaff from Nash. So to half forward on the southern side. Moore, an offering out wide from Bruce. McDonald calls for it on the inside, so does Ginnivan. The kick even shorter than that. Deer and Moore. And Dacos, this time with more surety. It's that long.
Let's see if they can go the journey, see if they can get from one end of the ground to the other. Just been cut off and denied inside 50 entry. 6 for the quarter for the Magpies only.
Ned Long was too far back in the midfield queue at Hawthorn, so moved on and is now a Pie, and he's getting his opportunity. Darcy Cameron. Much more challenging contest for him this week. After having almost 60 hit-outs last week. Kruger, prime target, flew. Elliott trying to win his ball. And again, the Hawks defence doing what they had to do. Kruger, though, they're going to sneak in. This time, rather than having a shot, he gave it to Richards. Richards will get it back. He just can't quite get it together when it matters.
He's having an almost day Kruger at the moment, isn't he?
Sums him up a bit, doesn't it?
He's attacking the ball well, though. He's putting his body in and he's creating opportunities.
Completing well in the air too, Chief, isn't he?
Again, Sicily a little suspect in an aerial battle. We're going to keep a close eye on that, see how that shoulder holds up for him.
That's a gilt-edged opportunity that goes begging. This is from a Collingwood side who, you know, methodical, and you expect to take that chance, so they're just not where they need to be.
You can see Cat getting the continuity this year. His 9th consecutive game to half forward. More Bruce. He too is really threatening so far in this opening term. Walpole given the latitude by the umpire. The protests continue from the Collingwood players. They thought they deserved the free for holding the ball.
It's the ground ball one-on-ones for mine right now. Hawthorn, every time there is a one-on-one ground ball, they are usually winning it. They're absolutely dominating ground.
And outnumbering as well, particularly when Collingwood get possession of the footy, they're just the numbers at them.
Nash has gone forward now for Hawthorn. Lipinski fired it. Too quick for Cameron as it turned out. That might be high.
Good news for Collingwood, we're talking in a way that Hawthorn have dominated the quarter to a large degree. The good news is it's only 12 points, despite the fact that it's 14-7 inside 50s.
Yeah, big 2 minutes right here if they can not concede another goal. Big couple of minutes for the Pies.
Day, the 23-year-old who won his first Hawthorn best and fairest last year off the Jaff. Waiting for an option. Well, he's limited his options by playing on and sideboarded him eventually.
The Hawks' last 3 or 4 inside 50s have been poor. And that's what Sam Mitchell will be addressing at quarter time. When you're dominating the contest, you've got to give yourself opportunities to score, and they're not doing that at the moment with poor entries inside 50.
8 more entries, 12-point lead. There's a path out down the middle for Josh Dacos. Had to be absolutely precise. Difficult in these conditions. Chris helps him out through Cameron and they swing away again. The Dacos handball is long and has the issues now. Dacos tries to rectify, overwhelmed by the numbers. which we've said time and time again in this opening term.
Again, pressure through the middle of the ground. You know, they're taking some risks to try and get some flow from back to front, but it's just being stopped.
Again, it's nudged forward and wide. Bruce starting to thrive now. Strings the handball to Gavin. Had 3 options. Somewhere in between the ball lands. More. Josh Dacos, he is working overtime. Noble, and they're away again through Lipinski. Chris kick to the wing. Mark will take on the first, but the second by Kruger eventually identifies Joey Richards. Again, it's far from perfect. Elliott makes his move now. Led beautifully at the ball. Put it in the channel. He's got a call in the goal square from McGuinness, who's screaming for it, but Elliott does the sums and thinks by the time he takes the kick, it'll be coming.
Monster kick for the Pies here. If he kicks this against the run of play, they'll be thrilled going into a quarter-time huddle, knowing they can make a few adjustments and no damage has been done.
Jamie Elliott will be cognizant of all of that. His team losing 3 games in a row from 51.5 metres out.
Good effort. Good try.
It was. But that's about it for Collingwood in this opening term. A few that got away. And the last seconds count down. And this Hawthorn team are taking their form onto the big stage, onto the MCG in front of 65 to 70, maybe even more thousand people on this winter's Saturday at the MCG. The Hawks making the running, 3-3-21, leading Collingwood 1-4-10. There'll be so much that I...
All right, folks, there we go. I tell you what a cracking first quarter here at the MCG, where Hawthorn lead 3-3-21 to the Magpies, 1-4-10. Tell you what, Kruger missed an absolute sitter from about 4 metres out from the prop for the Pies and just shanked it, Paul. My gosh, I tell you what, things aren't going all that good for the Pies, but I tell you what, they're hanging in there because Hawthorn, things are going right for them. They're handling the ball better. It's a little bit drizzly and slippery, the ball out there at the MCG today, only 9 degrees. There we go. And of course the Hawks, as I said, their pressure was up over the 200. They're doing everything right. Best on the ground for the Hawks, I think, at the moment, of course, is Jack Ginnivan. And of course for the Magpies is Joshy Dacos. Both players respectively for their both sides. Let's have a little bit of a look at the players' stats. We'll see how that lines up. As expected, they're 1-2 possession getters on the ground. Jack Ginnivan leading with 10 disposals, 6 kicks, 4 handballs, 2 marks, 3 tackles, 1 clearance. He's been in just about everything in that first quarter. Joshy Dacos, he's holding the Pies up well, giving them a nice little bit of run out of the back, although gave away 1 free kick, which resulted in a goal for the Hawks. He's doing his job well with 8 disposals, 3 kicks, 5 handballs, 1 mark. Warple, first goal scorer for the match. James Warple there for the Hawks with 7, Nash 7, Moore 7, Hardwick 7, Will Day 7. So they are chipping it around to each other. They're spreading the load well. There's a few players, well, let's say we're going to be in for a bigger second quarter. I tell you what, this is going to be one cracker of a game today, folks. Make no mistake about that. Make no mistake about that. Crisp there with 6 touches. Giant there for 6 for the Hawks as we come on down. Moore's looking a little bit better in defence there for the Pies with 5. Nick Dacos, I tell you what, he had a very quiet quarter, just the 5 disposals, just the 2 kicks, 3 handballs and 1 clearance. Expecting a bit more from him. Connor McDonald, another quiet one there for the Hawks with just 4. Bobby Hill, he needs to lift his game up forward. We need to get a few more targets. Jamie Elliott, he had a shot on goal just as the siren scored. He's been in the play though, but the ball's just got away from him. As I said, been a little bit slippery. He's had the 2 kicks, 3 disposals. He kicked that 1 point with just faded to the right of goal. Jordan Ngoe, another slow beginning, just a 3. Chol's been pretty good for the Hawks coming through the middle. He's done a bit of pressure work and all that type of thing, 3 disposals. Will Hoskin-Elliott, another one. A lot of the Pies down there on the lower end of the scale of the possessions where the Hawks have had most of the ball, most of the run, and all the pressure put on. That being said, there's been good pressure from both sides so far, but the Hawks definitely put on most of the pressure. Warple for the goal. We want the goal scorers. There's the goal scorers. James Warple 1, McDonald 1, Luke Bruce 1 for the Hawks, and of course Reef McGuinness there for the Pies, sole goal scorer. That's it. Just on the fantasy points, quick look at that. 46 for Ginnivan. He started this game very well. Got to make sure they put a tag on him or keep close to him. Lipinski 31, Warple 29. There we go. It's going to be a cracking second quarter here. Let's get back over here. We're only a minute away from the bounce of the second quarter. I just want to thank Sniper from coming in here early on. Blue John, g'day, brother. Paul, I hope your tip is like they usually are today with you tipping the Hawks. So that hopefully will be a Pies victory for us. Adrian, what do you mean you hate the Pies? Boo Pies. Come on, Pies. Don't be like that. Carly Hughes, thanks for coming back. Appreciate that. Good stuff. Who are you going for in this game today, Carly? Who are you going for in this game? Avery, how you going? What's happening? Ryan, g'day, Squire. I think every major footy ground should have a roof. If it's fine, leave it open. If it rains, close it. I tell you what, that would be a very big roof if it was the MCG. As we saw last night, the game at Marvel Stadium, the roof was closed there, and there was definitely decisive scoring end for some reason last night between that game. But there we go. We're only about 19 seconds away from the start of this. Let's hope the Pies can handle the ball a little bit better and not slip out of their hands. Kick a little bit straighter. 1 goals for. They both had opportunity. But this game is about to get back in. Let me just have a quick look at that team stats. I want to have a look at stoppages. I want to have a look at inside, marks. Collingwood's actually marking the ball more. There you go. And 4 marks to 0 inside 50. All right, so I can't see it. I was trying to have a look at the inside 50s, but I can't quite see that. There we go. 7 free kicks to Hawthorn, 3 to the Pies. There it is, inside 50, 16-8 to Hawthorn. We need to tighten up and get that going. Here we go for the second quarter. Come on, Pies.
Forward 56-1 to Hawthorn. Get the ball to ground, their big chance.
Another big issue for the Hawks. They scored 3 goals, 3 from their first 8 inside 50s. Nothing from the next 8. Combination of poor entries and Collingwood getting a bit more organised behind the footy.
Both ruckmen so concerned with each other. The ball went to ground before either could touch it. This is Nash. Nice capture. Newcomb made the call. Lipinski, good prediction. Back to DeGoey. Pies get a look. Kruger's had a few. Can't hang on to that one. Harbuck made it more difficult. Now again, Sicily not completely convincing over the footy. Will have a ball.
Yeah, horrible place to be, knowing that your shoulder's just a good bump away from popping out again. So the courage to be out there shouldn't be underestimated.
Kruger tapping. Oh, Newcomb got one higher at least. It appeared as if he did. The umpire not convinced.
See whether they can arrest this clearance domination from a Hawthorn point of view.
Spinning out, just a head clash. Oh. Tough in the clinches, could be a blood rule.
That was the head that clashed, was it? It's nice on this day. That's about 12 degrees here.
If you're lucky.
You must have the aircon. You must have the heater on up there.
Let's just see the setup here from the Magpies. So Hawthorn were so aggressive with, as Cam has pointed out, Lloyd Meek's ability to get the hand on the ball and direct it to where they need it to be. So defensively, let's see whether they hold up and maybe Collingwood can get something to work for them.
Just the blood rule waiting, Jamie Elliott going off.
He's in the hands of the trainers.
Hey, welcome back, Andy. Welcome back for 4:12 on Saturday morning. Wow, that's early.
Okay, so this is an issue for him.
Play goes on, so Collingwood a man down. McDacos back to Josh. McStay got worked under it, well played by Sicily. Clearing ball again, Ward knew exactly where to go next to Nash. Takes the territory, heads to Child, Moore, made the spoil. Ginnivan goes to work, Cameron unlikely pursuer. Inboard to Moore from outside 50, skids it. Oh, so close. So close.
Is that ground ball again?
Yeah.
So get ball to ground, the child contest with Moore. Ginnivan there mops it up.
They need to start taking some of these opportunities, the Hawks.
Rounded up by Hardwick. They'll get another one here. Newcomb. Oh, boy. One part of the footy.
So Maynard just the one touch. Markov just the one touch. Hoskin Elliott the two. That's your defensive group. Their hands full at the moment.
McStay can give them some aerial presence. They have missed him. Everyone's spread. Nothing really obvious. McGuinness leads and Sicily gets back to make life difficult.
Great example right there, the right shoulder.
Yeah. So a great effort to go back with the courage.
But he just went up with the left arm and protected the right.
Dacos handballs into the space.
Oh,
Sicily made that up.
what about that?
Back to Jath.
It was a reverse back heel, Hunter. That was extraordinary what Sicily did. I hope it was, or it was a fluke, one or the other. Looked like he threw his leg down at that.
He meant it.
And
Tapped it with his foot.
Kicked it inside out.
Hawks by 12. Shuffle around for position and Meek was able to stand his ground. Nash on the move. He's in excellent form at the moment, a good physical presence in these conditions. Took a wrong turn, Jaff, and there was 3 Collingwood players ready and waiting.
Well, energy around the stoppage here from Collingwood early in this second quarter.
Pendlebury tries to get them sorted out ahead. He waits for Darcy Cameron to lead into the space, and that is so well orchestrated by Scott Pendlebury, who will play his 400th game in a couple of weeks. Is due to be against Carlton, so you can imagine how big that occasion might be, as Cameron also able to just make use of what was on offer, which was a nifty little 20-metre kick to Jack Crisp.
Well, we know he's one of the smartest players that's played the game. Scott Pendlebury, don't we? He just saw a ruckman drifting down that didn't have another ruckman on him, and he knew even if there was a Hawthorn player there, he was going to have the advantage in the air, so he just kicked it to Darcy Cameron. Clever kick now, they're having a shot for goal.
Jack Crisp kicked those 3 goals in about 5 minutes against the Bombers a few weeks ago. He's been kicking very accurately, but not there as it falls across the face. And Lloyd Meeks quickly becoming a really prominent figure in this, not just this game, this season for Hawthorn, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got a presence, which is what you want from your big fellas.
Looks like it's going to take a little while for Elliott. Sicily got himself into a bind and never really gets out of it completely. So the turnover has been made, and it's Josh Dacos. Had 30 touches against the Hawks last time, and again he looks to look up with his brother. No dice. Connor McDonald on the wing. Charles before Moore gets there, and they've got a runner on the fly. It's Kel Shadir who takes it 70 from goal. Howe is playing back as safety though, so not necessarily easy. Ward bounds to the 50, cuts the kick, ready for Ginnivan. Up early, Lipinski stays afloat. Watson goes looking for a free kick, and the umpire furthest away has awarded him, and that has incensed the Collingwood defenders.
Yeah, Maynard's gone after Ginnivan. Ginnivan went after Lipinski, because Lipinski then went after Watson. But the bottom line is this, as they sort themselves out. We'll have a look at it again. The Collingwood representation at that ball that got kicked in outnumbered Hawthorn in a big way, and Watson still ends up with the footy. That's of greater concern than anything else that's going on here at the moment.
It's Lipinski. So Watson, we all know his history this year. He kicked the goal when it matters last week. Expectations are he'll drill this. Maybe a turn. The corner has been turned for the Wizard.
It's one of those where you feel for the defenders, because you've got a player running at you that's bending down to pick up the ball, and he basically just charges into you. You feel like the only thing you can do is jump out of the way, and if he makes contact, he's drawing the head-high tackle. Really difficult one. You see the kick cut, he squares it up, Ward, because that's where Ginnivan wanted the ball. And Ginnivan does well to bring it to ground. He stays in the contest, then it's loose. He's just running in. There's not much Lipinski can do.
No, it's not. I understand what you're saying, but even though I think the big concern was he was the one that was at first at the drop of the ball, and it's been an issue for them. It was 6-1 that first quarter. I'll have a look in a minute. He and Ginnivan providing all sorts of nightmares for this back six for Collingwood right now. They got their hands full. Ball goes to ground, heart's in your mouth.
Makes 8-19 for the season for Watson. It was a big call from the umpire from so far away when there was umpires closer though, wasn't it?
Yep. Well, be careful if I was Jack Ginnivan, waving a red rag to a bull. If you start getting Braden and Maynard really upset.
Well, he got him grumpy last time they played. In the end, Maynard had the last half because they won, but Ginnivan kicked a couple of goals. The lead, he's out to 17 already. Threatening to ball in a little further. Quainer looks for a solution going forward. Pretty much one-on-one. Sicily backs back, climbed over everyone's head. Richards just whacked away, hoping for the best. Impey having a stellar season to Sicily. On the inside this time, Quainer decides to let it go. He might regret that. It's just going to be thrown in.
So again, inside 50 count at the moment. That was just their 11th. It was a very, very shallow one. So their inability to get the ball into dangerous spots in their forward 50 has been an issue for a long time now, and it is again on display here.
The rain has arrived at the MCG, which makes the 17-point advantage perhaps even more significant for Hawthorn. From the scramble, Amon went without the footy and then it's come back underneath there.
DeGoey and Sicily, the two that are deep inside Collingwood's forward 50.
Day looks the charge after it, long, and meet with great relish. Grabs on.
Well, this is interesting now, isn't it? This is another next stage of this game.
How does it change the flow of the game now?
Well, have a look at the radar, so you get used to it and you change a little bit, you tackle the footy, expectation of delivery of the ball. Although when this bloke gets it, not much changes.
That's just the back at just the right time. Didn't get enough source on the kick though. Scrimshaw, Warple, and work it out. Back to Ginnivan. Just places it for D'Ambrosio. And he does enough for the jumping and takes the mark. Great connection between these Hawks. Scrimshaw and his 100th. Up to Newcomb and back to the inside. Not enough territory on the kick. No problem for D'Ambrosio or Newcomb. Ginnivan playing like a loose across half back. He is getting adventurous. A long kick to half forward. Denied by Hoskin Elliott. Here's Nick Dacos. There's so much work for him to do. It's hard to believe he is the second youngest pie out there, Nick Dacos, given the load and the responsibility he has. Dear, brilliant hands. Sends McDonald towards goal. And he can't quite close.
Oh, gilt-edged opportunity. Goes begging again.
Yes, you've been bemoaning the lack of taking opportunities. The rain is absolutely hosing down now. Jack Ginnivan's had 14 touches. He's the best player on the ground at the moment.
That was full-time mid, but he just has licence to roam up the ground. The key now,
the more possessions he gets, the more annoyed Collingwood will be.
The key now is you've got to play the territory game. So you want to be living in your own forward half. Just keep an eye on Jamie Elliott here. He comes through. And he falls into the leg. Yep, I'm sure the day that's tackling him when he goes to ground.
Rain gets heavier. Josh Dacos. Sicily. Overran it. Richards pounces to Pendlebury. It's even numbers ahead. Hill has a couple of yards on. He closes. And listen to the Hawks fans' adoration for that. Stays alive to go knew where Hill was. Does Hill know where the goals are? Oh, he's magnificent. Evasive skills from Hill. But this month he just can't find the goals.
That was going to be on every highlight really you've ever seen if he kicks that one.
That effort from Amon was initially was fantastic, and then the dancing shoes of Bobby Hill.
Given the going, that would have been incredible, wouldn't it? Amon helped on by me. Oh, is that a half fan from Maynard? He takes Ginnivan down. He's given the free away.
Got one himself. Ginnivan just picking himself up. Possession number 15 coming his way.
Crowd don't like it. They've had a look on the big screen. Have a look here.
Could have some issues. It's a big roost from Sicily. It keeps them a little off guard. They're calling it defence because it probably carried another 5 or 10 metres than they anticipate.
He's up and about. He's having a massive save proceedings, Jack Ginnivan, and Ray Maynard's going to have a bit of explaining to do, I think.
Trying to push off. Just got the elbow a bit too high.
Pendlebury and Newcombe entwined under this ruck contest. Josh Dacos, his fellow winger D'Ambrosio coming in.
Three Hawthorn players tackling there.
Always having a chat about it there. So we've got plenty more of those left.
Well, it's a contest game now, and you're going to get plenty of opportunities to impose your will on your opposition.
And they win it again around the contest. D'Ambrosio, quick glance, Charles and Moore. Charles to ground, both to ground that time.
And these are the ones now with those half chances. It's whoever can take them. Whoever can kick those quick snaps, the running goals, when you get half a chance, it'll decide the game.
Collingwood 6-1 clearance this quarter, so they've gone to work on it, on the good side, identified the issue, rectify it.
Hawks are still getting so much more of the football though, aren't they? So how long can they be denied? Newcombe to Charles, Moore, Nick Dacos from the very last line, the deepest of defence. Kicks back, Frosty. Should try on a cold Melbourne day like today. Sends it back towards the goal square. Meeks pushed forward, and he doesn't, not far away from dragging it down. A little gift for Bruce. And then he too was overwhelmed with the pressure that Collingwood are trying to apply.
Yeah, he was looking to create some space to snap it on the right boot. Ran into a brick wall.
He's got it locked in here for the time being, the Hawks. See if the Pies can extricate themselves. You've just got to play percentages a bit though, you can't be too expansive.
Pendlebury will know all of that. Maynard pops up. He's going to cop it now for the rest of the day.
I'm not sure that just washes over Braden pretty quickly, doesn't it?
I think so. He played his turn of the game. He said, I am a nice guy, but he knows his role is of the villain. Plays it up to the wing, to a contest, but there's no oh, boy, beats everyone. McGuinness can't believe it. Left foot kick, he can't capitalise. Sicily backs that down nicely. To Walker, left invulnerable. Pendlebury comes hard the other way. Gets out of a jam, and
these conditions bring Pendlebury and Sicily the two probably smartest players.
And he shows the smarts there, because the kick can go to McStay. Frost out of position. They beg for a free kick.
I'm amazed that Pendlebury was allowed to play on there, because you've got another Collingwood player interfering with the man on the mark. Should not have been able to play on.
I know Lockie Sullivan warming up down here at the moment for Collingwood, so we're assuming that's going to be Kruger out. We're just waiting to hear on that one.
Thank you, Moons. Hardwick gives it everything he's got out to the wing. Maynard and Cameron get it to ground, but now the Hawks, their appetite growing stronger and stronger. Hand past McDonald, forward to D'Ambrosio. They'll get to half forward. Boost to Watson. There he is, one under the belt. What's he got for us, Wizard? He's got that!
And then the very opportunities we're talking about.
The spell is broken. Now he can't miss.
I wouldn't go that far, but it's a good finish. Wet conditions, Hawks got numbers out the back. They just had to handle the ball cleanly. Bruce and Watson running goalward. It was just a matter of how were they going to work out who and how the shot was going to be taken.
All right, we go back, and this is the finish. Go back to where he came from. And so you get into this game, this situation, the rain's coming down sideways, and once you make a decision to go, you go. There he is at the ball. There's Watson at the drop of the footy. As soon as he sees that ball spill, he's gone. There he goes, puts his head down now and goes. In these conditions, your Collingwood defenders are all still up at the contest, and then the finish is elite. He comes inside, backs himself to go around the body, and the good judges tell us that this is going to be the norm. What we've seen earlier with his goal kicking, they say that he will come and impose himself on this competition in a big way. He's kicked the last 2 goals of the game. Massive.
And the lead has expanded to 22 points. You can see Collingwood have tried their hardest to lift.
Well, clearance-wise, they've got back on top, haven't they? They just can't make anything happen when they go inside.
Cameron goes in a relatively straight line. Invites them to run and jump. And the Hawks defenders do. D'Ambrosio questionable where the fist went. Sullivan's on the ground. Immediate impact. Nick Dacos tries to respond on the goal line. Sicily does enough. Stay was there with the combat.
Sorry, boys, just quickly, that sub has been made. Sullivan on, obviously, with Kruger out with concussion.
Just going to say with Sicily and Pendlebury, you just watch these two players. They sort of forget about a man, and they just go where they know where the ball's going to go.
Middle couldn't have kicked that much higher to the wing. Spoils are made. Now the ground battle. Noble overrun. It's hard to be sure of foot and by hand as well. Markoff made a pretty good fist of it with Crisp and Lipinski and Noble. And side bottom, left foot kick, not much control on the bounce for Long. Doesn't try and take possession. Nick Dacos pops up at Hawthorn, runs into Sicily, who just rips a handball to Warple. Strong of body and mind, these Hawks, they dig in at half-back. Hardwick up along the wing. Collingwood trying to lift. The captain leading from the front. The big fist towards the line. It stays hanging on the boundary and it's out.
So that last play is exactly what I'm talking about. He just let Nick Dacos play 30 metres in front of him because he sums it up and says, well, it's have to be really precise for Nick to be a danger in that point. And so he plays off him, reads the ball, gets there first.
Captain and coach. Interesting that he's just having a little spell at the moment. After that big effort, Amon came his way, can kick it 50, maybe even 60 with a bounce. Charles senses an opportunity, slides out in front. Dacos the fumble, it's still very much alive for the Hawks. Charles again to Bruce, who seemed to know it was coming.
Been impressed with Charles, really, just over the ground, Charles.
Yeah, and more so, he's not taking the marks, kicking goals, but he's competing, being defensive, putting pressure on.
He's been, he Darcy Moore had a really great first quarter battle, but geez, he's cruising around that forward 50 and getting the contest after contest.
And more off is being watched by Howe. Cameron and Meek again. Side bottom. Oh, interesting kick. Indiscriminate. Jath approaches with care. Now off the ground once Clay. The appeal from Jath, who is visible at the right moment. And a big tackle on Hill. It spurts. It's back over the line.
Well advised there, playing the first to not kick it out of bounds because it would have been deliberate, and then Elliott just to make sure he got tackled right next to the boundary and the ball was able to spill over and they reset at a ball at a throw-in.
Watch for Newcomb here. He's usually the go-to for me, not too far away.
And Ginnivan just on the ground. Sockers playing on at the support of Pendlebury. And he runs straight into McDonald. More quick acceleration. Kicked it down the line. It's going to stay in and then go out. Bit of extras afterwards from McDonald and Pendlebury.
Just look right across the ground here. They've just got great coverage hit right now. So Weddle comes back off the pack and provides support defensively. So if Collingwood even do win a clearance, which they have been doing in this quarter, the way forward looks really, really tough for them.
Nick takes the front. Cameron gave him an extra shove for good measure. Jath and Crisp and the footy somewhere there. Warple, Nash, not this time. Sullivan the tackle. Ginnivan back to Bruce again. He goes sliding along the ground. Markov almost involuntarily gets it to the boundary line.
Well, someone probably needs to take some responsibility for Jack Ginnivan, who's sort of cruising around the ground at the moment, doing pretty much what he wants. So Noble's gone to him now. He's had 17 possessions inside a quarter and a half.
And the margin has got out to 21 points. Meek again from one of these dangerous stoppages. Toe initially from Bruce. You can see that in his head is still working overtime. How can I get this to a position to score or share?
Best I've seen him move for a while. He's really on the move at stoppage like the rest of his group. Asking a question of this Collingwood defence.
Approaching 300 games. If they play finals, he could potentially get there this year, but I think there's still a confidence he's got plenty to offer for another season. Warple, who started the game with the first, tries to will it. It's going against his will on this occasion.
Oh, another shot for goal from a forward stoppage. Yeah. You'd be worried about that, Craig McRae. Too many of those already in the first half for the Hawks.
Now mixes it up this time. A handball to Maynard. Kick reaches the wing. Ned Long versus Frost. At the back, Scrimshaw ready for action. And so is Charles against Howe. There's a terrific contest. Howe does enough.
So they're just belting down the line out of defence. And Hawthorn get the ball to ground and they've got numbers around it again. So they just look a little bereft of ideas of how they can get the footy from one end to the other here. Collingwood, they've only had 14 inside 50s for the match.
Nick again with the left hand. It's Bruce. Somehow got it clear to Warple, and then it got more difficult. Pendlebury's feeling the heat, and Bruce was in high. And attracted another free kick within range of goal.
Collingwood fans will be going nuts, and I understand why, but it's Hawthorn who are asking the question. They're the ones who are first at the contest, putting their head over the footy. And then, well, you can suggest that he's had his head down, where you've just got to have a little bit of care in the tackle.
As a defender, you've really got to put your hands behind your back.
Yeah.
Put your arms behind your back and just let the player run into you. Yeah, or out of the way.
Which is, again, against your instincts, isn't it?
Correct.
Luke Bruce, who over the years has been deadly. 9 goals, 6 coming into today. It's nice and comfortable for Luke Bruce. And this lead now is getting to enormous proportions. Collingwood just 1 goal as we are 6 minutes away from half-time. And the Hawks lead by 28.
They weren't boos that you were hearing. The Hawks fans will be doing that forever and a day with the bruised when he gets amongst the goals. The veteran still finding a way to get the job done. He's been used as the sub a number of times this year. He's been managed physically, but there's a bit of craft about him. And a goal like that in these conditions is invaluable.
Best I've seen him get at it, and that forward group is challenging this Collingwood defence in these conditions and the way that they've been able to get the ball to ground early in the piece. It's Watson, it's Ginnivan, it's Bruce, whose ground ball is as good as any player has been in the last 20 years. He's got back at it. Throw McDonald into that mix. It's just too mobile and quick at ground level for the defence.
Style from Chol, but Cameron gets it forward. Amon swooping, and now Day. In and out and across to D'Ambrosio. Forced back by Chris. And Scrimshaw just strolls straight through. D'Ambrosio the tumble. Everything's coming up Hawthorn at the moment. Ward stabs, and now they can run. Moore working overtime to give it again. And back. Moore. Inside 50. Spots Jaff coming hard off the wing. Good hard work from Noble, but still they come. One after another. McDonald this time with the soccer. And the Hawks are running rampant at the MCG. They have given it to Collingwood. 34 points the difference. And they just have no answer.
They're too quick, Alan. They are too quick, and they're running much harder. Look at the chase from Moore, the chase from side bottom. Ground balls have been talking about for the whole game. Again, gets the ground. Soccer ball off the out of the goal square in these conditions. You know that it's Hawthorn who's going to be on the back of that. They have been magnificent in these conditions. Oh, not only the conditions, they were outstanding in the first quarter and then embraced these conditions. And Collingwood, they are just on the back foot everywhere, Jace.
We're seeing a want to work. It's almost a team surge. As the ball goes forward, they get behind it and they surge it forward.
Delicate little tap from Charlie. He was hunting it on a second time. Again, it's just jet forward by Nash. Oscar Elliott sends it back Collingwood's way. Crisp at full stretch. Doesn't mark, so that's about all he can do, and there's no control. We've seen that regularly.
No winners forward of the footy either. Got no winners anywhere forward of the footy. And competing outnumber. And once the ball, as we say, gets the ground, they're out of the contest.
Hawks could be right on the edge of the 8 after this weekend.
Well, we saw the form ladder from round 6, though. I don't think the Sydney Swans have been in better nick than this team. And if you're sitting here watching this today, you just don't want to play it. They're just a side that you don't want to have to contend with between now and September. And if you're in the 8, you want to hope they're not.
And I don't think they know how good they could be.
I'll tell you what, Colin Nash has done some really good ruck work today. He's playing that second ruck role and he's pushing players out of the way, taking possession. It's just a hack kick forward, but Ginnivan as a smart forward plays in front.
It's a classic case of you can belt this ball, and he does that really well. Inside forward 50 in any manner right now, and the Hawthorn boys will be first at it. When you've got your team in that frame of mind, you are absolutely pouring.
17 Collingwood Premiership players playing today. 16 for the Pies and 1 for Hawthorn. And Jack Ginnivan can't quite rise to the moment on that occasion.
Didn't strike the boot well. I was thinking there might be a massive celebration if he was able to kick that one.
It's the big Maso who's was available, but I don't think these conditions would have served him all that well, although Big Meek's dominance in the ruck, and now Nash has been an issue. Nash against Long, you take that.
And Nash does take that, gets the tap, crisp.
It's a good call, Chief, because I've been watching him for this whole game. When he comes into that second ruck row, he's a 6'5" ruck rover rucking.
He's a big man.
I mean, how lucky are they at the moment that he's the second ruck?
And he has his way again, gets the tap down, just can't connect with a teammate at the moment. Look, Chris, extra effort there. Newcomb slides, does he dive on it?
Look like it.
Let's talk about these inside 50s again. 8 consecutive games, less than 50 inside 50s for Collingwood. They've had 15 for the match. We're nearly at half-time. 15 inside 50s.
And here go the Hawks again. Watson for Charles. He's been threatening all game.
Oh, he had more time than he had.
And that was stoppage forward, 50 stoppage again. You sound like a record at the moment.
Surely he's dived on this, hasn't he?
That's a free
That
kick.
has to be a free kick.
If Josh Dacos was a free kick, that's
Has
a free
to be.
kick.
He dived on that more than Sam Draper did in Adelaide earlier in the season.
And that's saying
And that
something.
is saying something.
That should have been another goal. The
Yeah.
Nick Watson running onto it, you know, he's 15 metres out.
Oscar Elliott. McStay breaks clear, and he does take a very nice mark above his head.
You can't go quick. I mean, look behind the footy. It's 3 Hawthorn players without opponents.
Gets over the back. Bobby Hill's lurking.
McGuinness wasn't really sure.
And that's one of the games that didn't have an opponent.
Well, we've lauded the way that they've run forward today, Gaz, but you're right. The way that they then set up or run back to make sure, so running both ways at the moment, the Hawks, it's outstanding to watch.
Off one step. That's all he needs. More with a double fist. Ground ball. Day. Eyes up straight away through Nash.
Watson's out.
Here he is again. Irwin stop booing. Ginnivan has worn them out. Into Nash. Oh, just over the head of Watson. Jaff for the pocket. It's that sort of day, but maybe not that sort of moment.
To Clinic. Again, ground ball. Watson spat out the back that quickly.
What's happened here?
It's a very forceful whistle you heard there, wasn't it? Has he taken the wrong ball out?
Well, those
Four of you.
inside 50 numbers for your man, Connor Nash. For the last 4.
Oh, they're worried about it being out in the footpaths.
On that tight an angle, the ball is going to get stuck between the goals.
It's not behind the point post, has it? I think it has. Is it? You're coming for score a bit?
It's in front, is it?
In front?
Still got good eyes, Jack.
No, one angle looks behind, the other one looks in front.
Looks
Doesn't
like it's both.
it? Yes. It's extraordinary.
I think it's in front. I think it's going in front. Oh, no, I'm not sure. I don't know.
The reverse angle looks like it's gone
Looking
behind.
at these angles, there is insufficient evidence to say whether the ball's hit the high post or not. This is on the scoreboard.
Watching it live, it looked definitely like it.
Yeah. Tough one to call.
It's not looking like a one-point game at the moment, but you never know. That's what we absolutely do know.
It'll be a fascinating half-time for Collingwood to see what changes that they can pull, because they've just been dominated everywhere.
Jack running on top of the ground again, tries to feed it back. Elliott tries to get busy, tries to get creative. Was able to see off 2, but not the third Hawk. Got one in the face of Sicily. Well, that was a bit awkward for Nash. And they do turn it over. Pendlebury had no time at all, but got it forward through McGuinness and Lipinski. Here's a moment for McStay. Great lunging effort from Impey, but he's given away the free.
Oh boy. Blake Hardman has given Champotchiat the greatest spray off the ball you've ever seen, because he made a really bad decision up here around the wing to try and keep the ball alive and do something fancy by hand with a wet ball, and it's backfired on them.
And the free kicks there, no question about it. He had a hold of McStay's arm initially, so let's see if Dan McStay has had some opportunities.
He was one of the heartbreak stories last year. Influential in getting the Pies to the grand final, then missed out, and after that, of course, he did the ACL injury in December. He's returned today, but unfortunately, he's missed a couple of chances to kick a goal. It's a pretty stark scoreboard, isn't it? One goal.
It's a shame he didn't get the goal, and it's a let off for CJ.
Well, little opportunity. Lipinski, he was on it. Here's Nick Dacos. But even he's missed. He might as well pick up and go home.
16 inside 50s. Collingwood for the half.
They're scoring 1 goal 10 though. I mean, 11 scores from 16 in 5 is amazing percentage.
That is so true. But this has been their issue now for 2 months of footy. You can't get it in there.
Harvey puts his head down and charges off with a kick to the wing. More pronounced double fist to the 50. Sicily acted like that was going to be a mark, but springs back to his feet. D'Ambrosio on a pick-up. Up to the wing and again, and it's Mick who kicks even up to the logo. Ginnivan not that time. Cameron thrusting back. Oscar Elliott just slaps and hopes, and Nick Dacos is in the right position. Elliott wants it deep. Inside the final minute, they crave a late goal, and he might have been able to contrive one with Lipinski. Terrific kick.
Yeah, needed something special, didn't it? Because they're just struggling. James Sicily would be as good a wet weather player as there is in the competition in terms of positioning himself. He's had 18 touches now. He's just playing the backstop and playing it beautifully. But in terms of trying to find a way forward, well, it had to be Nick Dacos. Who else is going to try and hit up a target that no one else can find?
14 goals, 7 for the season. Pat Lipinski has been an equal best score assist player, but unfortunately, even he is missing. And Collingwood cannot buy a goal. Just one to show for the entire first half.
Well, this is where coaching comes into it, and they've got to be coached. We've lauded Craig McRae. Sam Mitchell's just put on a masterclass. Let's see what the coach of Collingwood can come back with.
And the clock is about to beat the Hawks, despite a 65 to 70 metre kick from Jack. So Hawthorn have kicked the last 6 goals in this game. It's been a wonderful team performance. 4-5 they added in that second term to 7 behinds. Darcy Moore and his troops have not been able to work out answers for themselves, have they? So now they want their coach to help.
They're going to have to throw their team around. They're going to have to change the way they go forward. They've just been dominated when they do. They let James Sicily mop every single thing up. They've left Jack Ginnivan to run free through the middle of the ground and rack up numbers like you've never seen. So they've got some work to do.
Get down to Cameron Mooney.
Sorry guys, Darks, what do you say at the moment, mate? Look, it's pretty simple. Wet game, it's just basics, isn't it? Ball hits hands or is it a contest? Whichever team bounces off that looks like scoring, so we just got to stem their momentum off those contests and get some back ourselves. It's all going in right now. What are you talking about with these guys right now the next couple of minutes? Just basics, half time. It's the only chance we've got left really to have a proper reset, so take that. They obviously got a bit of momentum, but we've got to stay calm and wrestle it back. Thanks, Darks. Good luck, mate.
All right, we'll take a break. It's a 33-point advantage, and the sport action continues. Sudden death, a huge netball semi-final coming up.
All right, there we go. There we go. Addy G's happy, but you know what? Come a few more weeks, finals time, Addy mightn't be too happy with the Hawks winning this game because, as I said, the Hawthorn could be the danger team to the teams above them, playing like a top 2 side. Megalove shut out to Tino Bem Bem, the manager. In the house. Don't give up just yet, Paul. I'll tell you what, everything possible is going right for Hawthorn in this game, just at the moment, where nothing is going right for the Pies. I mean, they've had plenty of chances to kick goals. They've had some easy set shots, etc. 1 goal, 11. They're just wayward. 33 points is the margin at half time. As we know in footy, folks, that's not really a big margin, especially when you're playing against the Pies, who can only improve in the second half. They get their game back on their terms. It's going to be an interesting match come the second half. Let's just have a quick look and see what the player stats are. See where we're going here. Jack Ginnivan, he come out firing again, the little cheeky bugger. In the second quarter, 21 touches. He slowed down to the end of that second quarter, which was good news for the Pies. 10 kicks, 11 handballs, 4 marks, 3 tackles, 3 clearances. And giving a lot of cheek out there with his big choppers, of course, Jack Ginnivan. James Sicily, not doing too bad there. Always the man in defence there for the Hawks. He holds them up very, very well back there. 19 touches. Big numbers for those two fellas. 14 kicks, 5 handballs, 5 marks, 2 tackles. Doing well. Connor Nash, James Warple with 13, leading 4 possession getters on the ground, all Hawthorn. Of course, Nick Dacos came into the game a little bit there, looked a little bit dangerous, which was good, looking for a big half from him and Josh. The Pies want to get it done. 12 each for those 2 boys. Ambrosia, 12 for the Hawks. Let's just go down a bit. Lipinski, not too bad, had a shot on goal, but missed. Hardwick, Bruce, both on 11. Bruce not too bad with the 2 goals. Of course, It absolutely pelted down with rain in that second quarter. As I stated in the chat there, Hawthorn were handling it like it was a dry day. When the Pies, it was just slipping out of their hands like a cake of soap. It was certainly not easy to hold on to the ball. I'm going back to play my guitar back later. No worries, Paul. No worries, brother. We'll catch you after in the third quarter. Good stuff. Good stuff. Scotty Pendlebury, well, just a little bit of a quiet game. Just the 9 disposals there with the 1 behind. 5 kicks, 4 marks. He's had 5 tackles. Not doing too bad. 2 clearances. Will Day there for 9. Let me just keep going down a little bit more there. Still side bottoms having a quiet one there for the Pies, just with the 8 disposals. Connor McDonald still with 8. A little bit quiet. Some of these guys down below are having a quiet game. Marby Chol, he's actually not having too bad of a game, although he's only had the 7 disposals, 6 kicks, 1 handball. He's actually not doing too bad. Maynard doing his best to hold them up down the back line. Will Hoskinelli, another one having a quiet one. Have a look at all those Collingwood players there, all having very much a quiet game. Of course, Bobby Hill, he's had a quiet month. He really needs to lift in this third quarter. The Pies are going to get back on track. So, Paul, hello from TNA. Hey, TNA from Paul. Good stuff, good stuff. Good to see you in there. Come on, D's from Paul. Come on, D's. I don't know who the D's got. Not sure who the D's are. Not sure who the D's are playing. I can't quite remember that. Can't quite remember. We'll have a look at that after. Anyway, let's have a look at the goal scorers on the ground in this tough conditions out here at the MCG. 8 degrees and it's raining cats and dogs. Not the pleasant, but the crowd looks pretty good. The crowd still looks up around the 60,000 mark for this crowd. Of course, both teams drawing their supporters in. Collingwood Hawthorn. Nick Watson there with Connor McDonough and Luke Bruised. All players leading with 2 goals apiece for the Hawks. James Warple with 1. Of course, Reef McGuinness for the only goal scorer there for the Pies. Why not have a look at the behinds there as well? Just want to have a look at the goal, the missed opportunities there from the Pies. Daniel McStay, 2 behinds. Scotty Pendlebury missed. Lipinski missed. Kruger. They both should have been goals. Bobby Hill should have been a goal, but missed off the side of his boot. Jamie Elliott nearly. Nick Dacos skew-whiffed that goal. Let's have a look at the fantasy points. Jack Ginnivan still leads away on 77 points to half-time. Sicily was 76, Connor Nash 65, and then the rest are 50 and under for those points there. There we go. What do we want to have a look at? Well, let's have a little bit of a look at the team stats here. The disposals were Hawthorn of, well, they've had the ball in their hands. There you go. What's that? 67 more times than the Pies. Pies under, Hawks over on their average, even in a wet day. 111.92 kicks. Hawthorn leading that way. Handballs. Normally on a day like this, folks, when it's so wet and slippery, you just want to move the ball forward by foot. But the Hawks doing a fair bit of handballing, nearly 50-50 in their possessions. As I said, they're handling it like a dry day. They're having not much trouble, handling the wet ball. Inside 50s, 33-17. Hawthorn, well, there you go. Well on top. The 15 scoring shots from 33 entries. The Pies actually not too bad for their 17, 12 scoring shots. The thing is, they're not getting it in there enough. This is a little bit of a problem they've been having. Disposal efficiency, 70% for the Hawks. Collingwood way down at 59%. They need to lift that up tremendously. Efficiency inside 50, 48 for the Hawks. They're on target. Well, Collingwood are 64. It looks better than it is because their scoring ratio, but they need to put the goals on the board, not the points. The points if they want to get back in this game. Free kicks, 10-9. You know what I think? Hawthorn got a few free kicks by just ducking their head and running into the pack and getting a high free kick there. I think the umpire definitely put away the whistle few free kicks should have probably gone Collingwood's way, which would have made a little bit of difference there. That being said, you can only do what you get. Let's have a look at their stoppages, the hit-outs there. Hawks winning that 28-14. The clearances, 24-16. Centre clearances 4-5. The Pies doing that, but not causing the damage with the centre clearances. Stoppage clearances, Hawks on top there, 20-11. Contested possession, here we go. 72-61. Hawks leading that. Uncontested, Hawks well on top by 62. They're finding their space. They're getting good run out of their backline, the Hawks, whereas the Pies are finding it a little bit hard to get out of their backline, getting that smooth transition into their forward 50. Turnovers, 34-35. That's actually not too bad a number. They're pretty well on target for the season average, especially on a day like today when I mentioned that it was absolutely belting down rain, cats and dogs. And turnovers would be quite easy in this. Possession, match time 44%. Hawks, that quarter 44%. And the last 10 minutes, 36% for the Hawks. They've been in full control of this game so far, have Hawthorn been. That being said, everything's been going the right way for the Hawks and everything's been going the wrong way for the Pies. So this margin of 33 points, make no mistake, folks, 50 versus 17, that can be brought back reasonably quickly if things go well for the Pies in this third and final quarter. With a half a footy to play, there's still plenty of time. Marks 32-27 to the Pies. Well, that's surprising to me. Marks inside 50, 7-1 for the Pies too. A little bit surprising. Maybe, they just need to kick a little bit straighter, get a little bit more accurate, the Pies. That's a good number, 7 for the Pies. They're above average. Hawthorn just a 1. They need to lift in that too. But you know what? They're getting the run inside 50, kicking the freakish goals. So that's what's doing it for them. Contested marks. Well, Collingwood 4-1 up there. We go. Have a look at the goal scoring. 7 goals, 8 to Hawthorn to 1 goal, 11. I can't remember the last time I saw the Pies kick 1 goal and 11 points to a half of quarter. I'll have to go back in the history books. Or any of the history buffs out there might be able to find that stat and stick it in the chat. It'll be quite interesting to see. Let's have a look at the tackles. 36-33. They're both doing reasonably well in the tackles. Tackles inside 50, 6-4. There is a lot of pressure when it gets in the Collingwood forward 50. There's a lot of Hawthorn players around doing their job. In general, the bounces, Hawthorn 4-0. Oh, whether I'd be bouncing the ball too much. He's pretty wet on today. And the 1%ers, can you believe it? The Pies in front by 7. Well, there you go. Well, that is that. Let's just have a little bit of a look at the ladder. As they stand, this is the live ladder at the moment. Of course, if we turn the live ladder off, Hawthorn 12, Collingwood 12, Hawthorn 13, both on 36. As I said, they're a game outside of the 8. But if I turn the live ladder on, if the game ends in a result as such, Hawthorn will move up to 10th on 40 points, level with Melbourne and Port Adelaide on 40, vying for a spot in the top 8. I don't think the Hawks can get in there at the moment just due to the Hawthorn's low percentage of 97.8 at the moment. I might have to wait till next week, unless Port Adelaide and Melbourne get absolutely crunched in the games that they play this week. And of course, if Collingwood don't win this game, they'll still be on 36. Still a game out, but I tell you what, they got probably the toughest road home for the final 6 weeks coming of the home and away season to the finals. So I think Collingwood just need to do their things right and get a little bit of game plan in action. As Paul said, looking forward to 2025 for the fixture for the Pies due to all the injuries. But that being said, folks, you know what? if I was the teams in the top 8, I'd be worried about Hawthorn. Hawthorn have come of age this year. They're playing like a good team. There's no like individual players that just play for themselves. They're playing as a team. They're doing everything right. They got their game plan worked out, spot on. And although, as I said, they're sitting on the ladder right at the moment in 10th position, if they do hang on to win this game, you know what? They are a force to be reckoned with, and I would not like to play Hawthorn if I was a top 8 side coming into the finals, because they've got the pressure, they've got the skills, and they've got a healthy side in there at the moment. There we go. We're only 5 minutes away from the bounce of the ball to the third quarter here, and it's going to be a cracking game. So don't go anywhere, folks. This game's not over. As Addy G says, this game is not in the refrigerator yet, because 33 points is a margin that can be brought back. You know, if a team gets momentum, that can be brought back pretty quick. Let's hope the rain stops, the ball dries out. It's going to be a little bit better game for the Pies. Hey, Chris. I know, I'm thinking the same thing. Can you believe it? Tell you what, they've had plenty of opportunities, the Pies, but they're just not kicking straight. Everything's going right for Hawthorn. Danger team this year, Hawthorn, for the rest of the teams. Tell you what, Hawthorn are probably the in-form team in the competition at the moment, even though they will sit 10th on the ladder if they win this game. Hawks on the juice, I tell you what, they could be. They could be. I tell you what, everything is going well. The ball is sticking to their hands like glue in a day that has been bucket and rain, pouring rain, 8 degrees. It's a wet day out here at the MCG. I think we're going to be in for a pretty good second half. Let's just hope the Pies can lift their game a little bit and bring this back to a closer match, because the margin doesn't really suggest or say what this match is like. It's a pretty, it's a pretty exciting game to watch. Even though the scores are like this, 7 goals, 850 Hawthorn to just the 1 goal, 11 behinds for the Pies, 17. It's a little bit better game than this suggests it is. So that's why I think this is going to be one cracking final. A second half here. We just need the Pies to get a few things go their way, and we'll be set. All right, folks. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Thanks, Chris, for coming back in. We'll see Paul back in here shortly after he finished playing with his guitar. Of course, the manager Tina in the house, and Addy G as well. Good stuff, everyone. Thanks for all the 19 million viewers in the house at the moment. We'll put the live commentary back on in just over a minute's time. Hang with me and we'll be right back. All right, folks, we're back. We'll take you to the live commentary. Players are out on the ground taking position. Umpire's got his ball in hand and ready for the bounce of the second half. All I've got to say is, come on, Pies, let's go. Let's get this margin back.
At their best, they're gonna claw that back, so we need to prevent that.
Which takes me time, mate.
More of the same, I think, as far as Sam Mitchell is concerned.
Hey, I'm looking at a Collingwood setup at the moment. It's more of the same for them as well. There's nothing structural that I've seen that is different at all. So they've just got to get more supply. 17 inside 50s for a half a footy. It's extraordinarily low.
But 12 scores is a high percentage of conversion. I've just got to turn them into goals, guys.
That's what they're holding on to, Chief, right now. But the Hawks have been magnificent.
Brett McGuinness is the lone goal kicker. The Hawks have 3 multiples already. Out of the middle, it's Warple to Newcombe onto the left boot. He probably had more time to get some design on the kick. It did suit Hoskin Elliott. Moore tries to win it back with some success. There's Day's kick. Watson outsized and outnumbered. Markov drifting.
So let's see how they approach this and whether they're going to try and go a bit quicker, a bit more aggressive.
Wait for Quaynor. It arrives with side bottom. And that's a bit of a wobbly number back to the middle. Got awkward for Day. Nothing is particularly easy in these conditions.
Just lacked a bit of communication. Day and Newcombe there had the opportunity, both had the opportunity to mark, but one flew over the other.
Well, the 2 ruckmen take each other to ground. Crisp almost locked his Dax. Lipinski got it forward to McRae. Jack bearing down. Here's Markov, a rare venture into the front half and not enough on the kick.
Again, this Hawthorn backline has stood up so well.
I'm sure darting because he spotted Newcombe. Markov does his best to defend. There's the Dacos kick and well handled it. Rocketed into the arms of Hardwick. No need for him to go forward at this stage. Up along the wing. Watson doesn't need to fly. Howe's timing was better than Deere. Just a step off.
Were you surprised structurally, Jason, that Collingwood and Craig haven't really done anything different?
I don't know, given the conditions, if it's going to make that much of a difference. I think there's a number of players can actually lift and they can do it a little bit better because they're scoring so frequently when they go forward. I mean, it's been a good start already, a couple of forays forward. If they can play the game in their forward half, but no doubt they can get back in the game.
Meek with the touch. Newcombe, the soccer. Josh Dacos v. Ginnivan. He's all over him again. Lipinski, crisp to go. He just 4 touches in the first half. He can be destructive. He pops and hopes, and it spins through Hardwick. Elliott tries to go to work. Hardwick let go at the right moment. Nick Dacos couldn't get any sort of creation on that. And again, Scrimshaw, Jarth, all legs as he gets it out to half back. And he had support. Warple saw a way through. Can't take the footy with him. And now the numbers multiply.
And the numbers have got back to support again. So they've got to try and even up inside their forward 50, the Pies.
Hawthorn fans here at the ground or sitting back at home just would be loving what this young team full of dash and excitement is giving them. They've been universally acclaimed. They how good they are to watch, and this is why. They can get into stride. They can create it from anywhere. Jath, deep. Quaynor takes care of Proust on that occasion. Crisp, here's Jath. He kept on running. And the challenges keep on coming.
Jack Ginnivan, who's the best player on the ground in the first half, just gets another uncontested possession out on his own. So maybe Markov has pushed up the ground and gone to the wing. It's perhaps one of the only changes you can see.
Just a query on whose point it was off, but I think they've got it right in the end. So Chris will get the free kick.
And so Matt Stevick hands it back to Jack Crisp. Possession 13, equal with 3 other Pies as their leading disposal winner in this game. There's all sorts of leaps. Hill got the footy out here and headlock into a severe roadblock called Hardwick. Newcombe, desperate for help, found it in Will Day and someone located him. Quick snap.
What a tackle. I know there's been a lot of talk about the tackle. Tell me that the tackle is dead when you do this and do it properly.
Went straight to going. Now to Nick Dacos. Went sideways, then forward. Frost knew what was coming his way. And he went and rediscovered it to Warple. A Day up his sleeve. And then to Deere. Hasn't had a lot of the footy, but the future is very bright. Just 18 years of age. Off to Ginnivan. And then towards Moore, but side bottom work the angles well. Bruce shovels for Moore. He just pops it to Watson in the pocket. Nowhere near. Watson screws the kick back for D'Ambrosio.
That is a great sign.
It is.
Development of a young man who has got every excuse nearly to just get caught up in the excitement of the day and go and try and banana it. But I think against his natural instinct was...
I think so, Gary.
He nearly pulled the trigger for a banana that went across his body. But again, it was a ground ball. Side bottom drops the mark. Hawthorn are on a ground ball. It's the story of the day.
He wanted to banana it, Gaz.
He did.
Wanted to.
He overcame it.
Through gritted teeth, he has set up Massimo D'Ambrosio for another big Hawthorn goal. As you were, we're into the third, and there's no sign it's going to stop yet.
Well, the modern generation, they've all got their lovely little celebrations that they enjoy, they interact, they must work on it at training, Gaz, but it's worth it when you have this sort of success. So again, Watson gets out the back, and this is a lot of ball watching.
What's Markov doing?
Well,
What's Quaynor doing?
That's the problem, Gaz. Collingwood are so used to being assertive and having everything on their terms. All of a sudden, when you're getting dictated to, you've got to reassess your starting positions and actually beat your opponent first.
Yeah, and I don't know whether it's your arrogance of success, which says we will continue to play this assertive way, when you've got Watson ripping out the back all day long and you haven't turned your head to say, I'll go with you. So it was Isaac Quaynor in the end, because you've got Markov up here on centre wing, but either one of them had to turn their head and have a look.
8-8-56 to 1-11-17. An ugly sight if you're a Collingwood fan. Crisp doing his darndest, but Impey jumped ahead of Hill, got there first. Quelled any possible uprising from behind. Kicks to the favour of Sicily, but the kindest of bounces. And after a moment, he would actually like it back again, to be honest, after that kick.
It's where he was passing it towards that corner then. Did not have to move.
Walk shuffle back though, to make the picture for Quaynor more difficult. To centre half forward. McStay, Weddle, both in the picture. Side bottom, you can both put their nose over it. Footy there still to be won. More and 3 pies cloaked all around it.
Yeah, they've got to get an appetite for this ground ball in their front half now, and all at clearance, Collingwood.
Hardwick and Elliott one out in the goal square, but the footy's going the other way. He's playing a heck of a game. His 14th disposal to half forward. Issues for Howe. Here comes Chol. Escapes the clutches of Moore. Brings it back to Newcomb. He's got runners on the outside. He's got forwards coming up at the ball. Can't really connect with that sort of kick. Not easy for Markov, because Ward was just ready for him, and he plays escort all the way to the line and even into the fence. In amongst the Hawthorn fans who couldn't be happier with life at the moment.
2 of them, though, Hutto. Not one Hawthorn player, 2 Hawthorn players at the Collingwood defender or Markov in this instance.
39 points. It's a huge margin, one which we did not expect so early in the game. They've split their contests over the last 4 encounters. The Hawks got them late last year. And they're searching for another. Joel Moore defends that time. Ginnivan can't get past Noble. Goes unwhistled. So they come again. Watson looking for a free kick. This time he doesn't get one.
Good decision from the umpire. Can't just keep running into players and getting free kicks.
He's 11-1 for the season.
He had an argument.
Cameron pats it down. Maynard, there's danger, all sorts of danger in that kick. And Colin McDonald was just minding his own business. And now he can line up for another goal. He's already got 2.
You reap what you sow in this game, and right from the opening bounce, the Collingwood defence has been under extreme pressure to the point where they just have been blasting away, and that is so unlike Collingwood that we've come to know. Braden Maynard under pressure just puts it on his boot into the centre corridor. That's just pressure that's worn them down.
And Conor McDonald going for a third, and you couldn't split the middle much better than that. Every Hawk is playing their part at the MCG. And suddenly, it's a Hawthorn party.
It is, the reigning premiers have kicked 1 goal in 2.5 quarters of footy.
Stoppage again. This time they didn't win the stoppage, but they still get a goal.
Pressure.
Stoppages in the defensive fixture of Collingwood have been abominable.
That's what I was what Oleg Markov is doing here, just wandering in either at the contest and leaving McDonald sitting on the outside. So they've stopped playing the game that's in front of them. They're just wandering around at the moment, not thinking about their action. So I don't know if we can get a look at it again, but Markov just goes, I'll wander to the contest, doesn't get to the contest and leaves McDonald 15 metres behind him, who takes an uncontested mark. It's just fallen apart for Collingwood.
The last 8 goals have all been Hawthorn. You can see it in their stride. Day and Noble tangle, and now it's up for grabs. The hands were good enough from Ward. This time the numbers are on Collingwood's side. They get themselves sorted. Pendlebury to half forward. Good body work by both McStay and Frost, really, for their respective teams. Frost on the follow, but so too McStay. Sticks to the task. And then there's extras around to make life difficult. Just as Scrimshaw is about to make the great escape, the whistle blows.
You think they got extra numbers at the ball, and then you look behind and D'Ambrosio pushed back to support in their back half and played it beautifully.
Warple today, crisp in a tangle. Charles does get back to his feet, but so does Day. And Warple knew where Nash was. Best game of the season last week, this might be even better. Oscar Elliott spinning through. Again, dual tacklers to deal with. Lipinski slowed by Sicily but not stopped. Dacos to Richards on the 50. Yeah, not full on. Wasn't clear, and in the end the whistle blows.
High contact.
That's the only way they're going to get a clean shot.
Boy, do they need this. They need a good kick here just to get something going their way, Collingwood.
We're at the build-up to this. Oscar Elliott dropped mark. A fumble initially from Richards. Free kick there. Gates Sicily for a high tackle. 1 goal for the game so far.
It's been an excellent addition to this Collingwood team. They've needed him with all the injuries. 23-year-old, mature age pickup from the Ovens and Murray. Kicked a couple of goals against the Cats last week and looked dangerous. But it hasn't been easy for any Collingwood forward today. And that just continues on with the trend of wayward shots for goal when they've had the moment. The contagious pad kicking has continued to spread. Nicely sized up kick.
We talked a lot about Sicily earlier, about his ability to compete with their shoulder. As soon as the rain came, he became the most important player on the ground, and by just reading the ball and getting the right spot.
What a rise from Joel, and look at the hurdles from Moore in today. They're irresistible at the moment, the Hawks. Aim on with an offering forward. Oh dear. Just not quite.
The slip of the tongue on it, was it?
Hopefully we'll be saying that in a different way in years to come. Up to half forward. Maybe in minutes to come, because they're coming again, thrusting forward. Frost to Hardwick. They chain up. They're unstoppable. Ward to Moore. And half forward Charles coming out of the square. Moore can't do much with it. The Collingwood Moore instead. Lewis again. Lewis. The Wizard of Waverley has kicked his third. And the Hawks lead by 50.
Well, we are going to lord this team with the Bunnings build-up here. Just again, not one Collingwood player all day has been prepared to put an arm across and keep Nick Watson in front of him. And Nick Watson just is what Nick Watson's been doing all day. Spinning out the back and running onto the ball. And so here you got Hoskin Elliott. What about... It doesn't even look Hoskin Elliott. This is the Collingwood defence that have just turned it up and said, we'll play on our terms. I don't really care about the opponent. Just let me go to where I think the ball's going to go. And they've got nowhere near where the ball's going to go. And they're now looking at a 10-goal-to-1 game.
Particularly when the bloke they're playing on's got genuine leg speed, which Watson has. You've got to stay goal side.
What about pushing him up, Chief? They haven't done one. They haven't looked like it. It's got too hard for them.
The brilliant Bunnings build-up we saw in the finish from Watson. And the Hawks, they've got more than a taste for it. What about this midfield combination of Warple, Day and Newcomb? They all bring their assets. They've been a different team since Day returned after the first month of footy when the Hawks couldn't win through the first 5 weeks. They've got Meek in the ruck. They've worked that out. There was a problem at the start of the season.
They've been extraordinarily impressive today.
And this man, Sam Mitchell.
Yeah, and he's coached it perfectly. He's picked a team that has exposed the weaknesses in this Collingwood outfit, which I have to say are plenty. And in terms of desire, and they've got unfinished business, and Collingwood's business is finished.
Just let that breathe for a moment. Stern look on Sam Mitchell's face. But his team are playing some wonderful football. Noble, again, that's just a sign of all Collingwood can muster at the moment. Just get it forward. McGuinness, it's better to Lipinski. Had no one to give it to. Absolutely no one. The cupboard was bare. Scrimshaw enjoying his 100th game. Copped a mouthful from Sam Mitchell in that big loss against Sydney. That seems years ago now. Maynard and Bruce. That's over the line.
So Patrick Lipinski would rather just give the ball up than sit there and take a tackle and maybe try and force a stoppage to get some support and numbers around. And that's, you know, that's critical of him, but it's hard not to be, given what we're seeing unfold at the moment.
7 hard balls to none. Harder the better for the Hawks this afternoon. Nash, he was really leading from the front early, wasn't he?
Well, he has, and they've all been, just been so hard and committed and willing to sacrifice their own game to get across, to double team, to put pressure on everywhere, and every single player on the field.
Mighty Roos from Moore. Hesitation there from Scrimshaw was a little bit unusual. He didn't try and take the mark. Even Pendles is hacking it forward. Amon was ready. They spring into action again. There's run from behind. There's run from the side. Ward from Moore. Right out at half forward. Even when they were struggling over the last couple of years, he's been a shining light. Deer and Chol. Deer flew that time. Chol waits at the back. Puts a big tackle on Moore.
Will Hoskin-Elliott did exactly the same thing. He's on Jack Ginnivan this time and just leaves him, doesn't get to influence a contest, and Ginnivan sitting out the back, you know, one handball away from being on his own.
Hawthorn's percentage is climbing today. When you restrict a team to 1 goal, it's the best way to bring up and expand your percentage. And obviously, Collingwood in reverse. McDonald again. And then Day. They edge a little closer. Josh Dacos, a handball to Long. Ginnivan again from the pocket, as if the day couldn't get any better.
Oh, he wanted that one. He had a bit more time till he knows it.
25 disposals for Jack Ginnivan.
Extraordinary, Hutto.
Good pressure again at ground level in the forward 50.
He did absolutely everything to make sure. In fact, he announced to his teammates informally on Monday that he was right and ready to go to be back against his old team. He wasn't going to miss it for the world.
There's been a distinct lack of respect from the coaching staff and the players towards Jack Ginnivan to the detriment of Collingwood.
More to McDonald, to Amon. They put together another thrust forward. Maynard intent on defence. Brewster still waiting to be dangerous. Moore basically just throws it to him and gets away with it.
That's a throw. A genuine throw, Hutto. Good call.
Genuine. One of the best of the season to go unwhistled. And a free kick to Dylan Moore.
Probably doesn't have the journey from there. He'll look to set it up somewhere.
Doesn't have the journey unless he runs out wide. He tries to run around Nick Dacus. You can see what he had in mind.
Made a hash of it.
Yeah, he did. Watched it, but they've done a lot right today. The handball to Goey. And Harvick is the man closest to goal. It's not going to be easy, so he has that for a charitable bounce. The ball behaving very nicely for the Hawks. He and Sicily with a collaboration, getting further away from goal, but there's an option on the horizon, and that was McDonald.
Good hands in the way.
I should say.
Still going here, Hawthorn, not even thinking about slowing down.
Riddle to Hawthorn, here comes Chol. Can't quite drag it down. Maynard to Howe. Back to the wing again. Wordle, good body work at just the right moment. He's adapted to his more defensive role so well this year.
Well, isn't it just a joy? You saw the speed and pace of Hardwick to get in the ball. Sicily can do whatever he wants in that back half. You've got Weddle's athleticism to cover. Frost has got good leg speed. They're well set up with Amon and Impey off half-back. Scrimshaw, they're beautifully balanced.
Comes for Chol again. Brewster Moore both there. Side bottom. Awkward. D'Ambrosio again. D'Ambrosio again. Another maximum from Massimo. And the Hawks can't get enough.
I'm starting to rack my brain, guys. I can't understand how many times Hawk players have drifted inside 50, been all on their own in the corridor. You can see Sidebottom is trying to cover two players. He doesn't know whether to go at the ball, and then in there it goes over his head. And there's three players around waiting for a hand pass if need be.
No, it's been a bit embarrassing for them.
It's a systematic breakdown of defensive structure.
And a lack of want to try and change it either. How many times have we seen wingers float down in here? Yeah, okay, so still Sidebottom turned his head. At least still Sidebottom turned his head. I'll give him that. Yeah. And he got a bad bounce, okay? So that can happen. But he did also give D'Ambrosio 20 metres, wandering into that defensive 50. So it's been a touch embarrassing for the reigning premier, for the whole lot of them. As they're laughing at the bounce, of course.
They're shocking bounces going.
Everything's out of kilter. They only just got back to have someone in the goal square, so they almost gave away a free kick. Sullivan had the call from the outside from Nick Dacos to Tagoe, who we've barely seen today. He hasn't been alone. That's a good kick. That's been a long time coming for the Pies. Just their second goal on the first since early in the opening term. Jordan Tagoe, who has his fitness issues at the moment, has just had 9 disposals and the last kicks a Collingwood goal.
It's a quiet day for Jordan DeGoey, but we do know he's got some class when he gets opportunities like this. You can see him trying to get in goal. He was looking for the short pass. Eventually the hand pass, or chain of hand passes came over the top. That's a really good finish. The ball, it's a little heavier than normal from just inside the 50-metre arc, but desperately needed. They've got to try and put a couple of back-to-backs in, just get a little bit of momentum flowing their way, the Pies.
Well, I guess if you're going to make a case for any team...
Well, big centre clearance now. Yeah, big centre clearance right now.
Just a month ago, they came back from a single margin against North Melbourne.
It would be the biggest turnaround of the year if they do, and you would... Well, I count them out, but...
Yep, they've just written off their season, didn't they?
They've done a great job of embarrassing a lot of people along the way, but they just haven't looked anywhere near organised or committed enough, and that be taking something away from Hawthorn.
He's never lost 4 games in a row, Craig McRae as coach. That's what he's staring down right now.
I just quickly down here, Hawthorn have made their sub with McGuinness coming on with Kelshia Dia. Tactical sub has quiet David in this weather. It's fair enough, but Finn McGuinness back on there.
Sure who's going to go and tag.
So I see whether Nick Dacos who's had a pretty tough day, is going to now get McGuinness, but doesn't look like it at the minute. So Ginnivan now is the deepest forward with Quaynor, the only 2 inside 450 for Hawthorn.
Dave is about to leave the scene, but the free kick is going to come back anyway. To the big guy.
So it gives Collingwood plenty of time to get numbers back.
Possession 5 for Meg today, but he's been a force in the ruck for them. Sends it roughly in the neighbourhood of Nash, but there was Cameron, his opponent, to deal with. Oh, McDonald tries to come up with some sort of creation.
Had some drop marks, haven't they? Oscar Elliott and Sidebottom, and conditions are tough, we understand that. But they've been under enormous pressure.
They've still got Carlton, Sydney and Brisbane to play on their run home, which we'll show you a little later. So that's why it's so difficult to see them playing a meaningful role. But
it's probably, it's their big story. The Hawks are the biggest story, aren't they, for now anyway?
They're just such a great story.
Yeah, they're so dangerous.
Side bottom with a clearing kick. A lot of teams will be hoping they don't make the 8. The way they're playing, the weapons they possess. Jack and Nash can't quite work their way through this one. Elliott batters it out to Hoskin Elliott. And the fumble from McGuinness again invites the Hawks back. Sicily takes territory. Newcomb. Meek. Rolls reversed. Here's Jack. Ginnivan's got through. Ginnivan has kicked the goal. Oh, Jack. He wouldn't have dreamed of this when he woke up this morning to take on his old teammates. He's finally kicked the goal and he he says to his old fans, yell as loud as you like. There's photos to be taken. We've got to remember this occasion.
This is a nightmare for Collingwood fans, getting worse and worse by the minute because the game itself's been horrendous. And it just so happens that the bloke that has been the best player on the ground and continues to be is got marched out of the job.
It's his 26th possession.
It's easily a
For
career
a small forward that's just wandering around on his own.
That was Darcy Moore. Darcy, I mean, it's going to be a horrible watch, this take back. So Darcy Moore had Jack Ginnivan, and he just left him. Jack Ginnivan just left him. So, yeah, Darcy just let him go to the contest.
Shows his love for the Hawks. To Goey, out of the middle. They counted back. House forward. McGuinness. Richards wanted it, but the Hawks were ready to cover. Hard to cover this man, Nick Dacos, but it's not the first time we've seen that today.
So I'm glad that Howe's gone forward. They need to try something. You get more aggressive, would you? You'd throw Maynard down there and see if he can't, be a bit more competitive in their forward 50. He's had a pretty horrid sort of a day as well. Been run ragged by these smaller Hawthorn forwards. So mix it right up right now. You're 57 points down. You kick 2 goals for the game.
Here they come again. Day to Joel. Ginnivan is the deepest forward. He's goal side of Quaynor. Waiting for it to come. Here's McGuinness. He'll get a rousing reception as well. 1-on-1. Quaynor and Ginnivan. Can't split them. They take each other to ground. And the backup is provided by Maynard. Back to the wing. Charles in some pain. I've rolled his ankle. Get back to that in a moment. D'Ambrosio. Okay. No need to panic, Moons. That's a big tackle on the big man.
Well, he's been outstanding. Maybe a child. What about he, like this side, gets better and better every week?
What about the pickups over the summer and all that they've done to change Hawthorn, add to what they've got? This is prime example here. D'Ambrosio. Deep to full forward. More this time was Newcomb. And he wasn't far off. Ambitious handball, Markov. Ward can't escape. That's terrific tackle pressure from McGuinness.
Good contest, Newcomb and Moore in the goal square. Showed good strength in the body on body, John Newcomb. Maybe there's a role he can play there.
McGuinness. Jeremy Howe had a good look at it and he almost reeled it in. Paddles. Impey knew exactly how to flick the handball to Sicily. Just teases Sullivan and pops the little left foot kick down the line.
And the weather's sort of warmed up a little bit. Anthony, it's not as cold as what it once was.
Nothing better after you kick a goal, Chief, and you run back to your own cheer squad.
Should get the same reception at the other end.
Trying to work out who the big star is down there at the moment, Watson or Ginnivan.
He's just as likely to do that had he been at the other end of the game.
Well, we've got a quarter
That's the great thing about it.
They've got something to look forward to.
Might have thinned out a bit at the other end. Side bottom, threading to Nick Dacos, to Josh. Long and Richards are both working across the ground.
Got some space here.
McStay is ahead, and so is Howe.
McStay's got his own. Sicily's out of position.
Way out in front. He could be a step ladder for McStay, but that's where the Hawk players are in sync. Side bottom, who kicked his first goal since the grand final last week, might have added another there. So the Pies do have something to show. A couple of goals for this third quarter.
I've got a question, Jace. So in a game like this where it's been ferocious and the pace on the ball hasn't wavered, so Scotty Pendlebury's had 12 touches, still side bottom's had 12. Does it give you food for thought with 6 weeks to go into this season?
Yeah, there's a lot of questions to be asked about their midfield, hasn't there? And what's the game going to look like going forward? I think that's the big picture is what needs to be taken into account here. But we're talking about players that have delivered so much success to this footy club.
Yeah,
that's the balancing act. That's the balancing act.
We laud both of them as all time as Hall of Famers, but at times this thing's whizzed around. It's not only gone past them; it's gone past a lot of them.
So you keep one of the two. So we'll keep one experience and leadership and
maybe
that one go.
Maybe.
6 players over 30 years of age and 11 over 28 in today's team.
He's lifted to go in. A little bit of forward momentum happening at the moment.
And Howe's got to run up and he takes the mark. It's like a true forward. coming out. He's getting close to 250 games, Jeremy Howe.
He played well as a forward against Essendon a couple of weeks ago at the start of the game, and then the Bombers, ran over the top of them. And he's been a player that hasn't always looked comfortable as a starting forward, but can be swung forward with some effect. So,
Kick goals in the last 3 games. In fact, he did play last week. Returns today. Can the Pies kick a couple in a row? Not with that wobbly number. Just 2 minutes remaining in this third quarter, which has produced another 5 Hawthorn goals. Dacos was on the move. And watched by Walker. Hill puts a big tackle on him and brings him to ground. Earned the free kick.
It was a great tap from Meek once again. He got what he wanted, but there was a little fumble. Just trying to get the ball to boot, and then he was gone. Tried to create some clearance to get the boot to ball. Couldn't do it. So good pressure from Bobby Hill. Now they get some back-to-back goals.
first touch for the quarter from Bobby Hill.
Didn't score a goal the last 2 weeks. In fact, only one in the past 3 after that amazing performance against North, where he kicked 5. All in all, 21 goals, 19 for the season now, Bobby Hill. Pies at least able to hit the scoreboard in this third term. Some reason at least. I wouldn't say celebrate, but encourage.
Back-to-back goals, something. You take that.
Minute and a half on the clock. Get one more before three-quarter time. That's what you aim for. Try and build momentum. Get 3 goals in a row. You take something into the three-quarter time huddle.
And I did like the spirit. He's kicked the goal and come from everywhere to get around him. So whether it's artificial or not, sometimes you just got to go over the top to try and get something to start happening. It hasn't happened at all for them today. But a good tackle inside forward 50, a conversion. They got around him. Back-to-back goals for the first time. Let's see if they can just get on a tiny little roll. They've had 9 shots. The set shots, they've had 9 shots from a set shot. They've kicked 2 goals 7 to 5 goals 1 for the Hawks.
Recton Newcomb will take another step with Darcy Cameron. Another major obstacle. Last 90 seconds of the third quarter to go. Extracts it impressively.
To go in again.
Yeah.
Starting to have some pressure. So he's got on the barrel.
Didn't quite hit it the way he might have, but still asked some questions of the Hawthorn defence, and in the throes of taking the mark, he just fumbled aim on at the last moment.
Had 7 touches, or 8 touches now to go for this third quarter. Only Will Day with 11 and Gillimore with 9 have had more.
After 4 in the first half. And he's got another one here from a stoppage. Off the left boot, made it hard. Day staves them off.
It was a good tap. Identified to go out on his own. They got what they wanted.
Sam Mitchell wouldn't have liked that, James.
No.
They have the hottest Collingwood player for the quarter sitting out there forward 50 on your own in a stoppage.
Not much to kick to here.
Use as many seconds as possible. Scrimshaw, but Oscar Elliott had the best look at it. Watson from half back in front of Bruce towards the boundary line, which wouldn't be a bad result for the Hawks. McInnes still just trying to find his touch out there. Maynard desperate as ever, and Dacos wears the tackle from Watson. Started at the contest, and then they turned it into that impressive gap and control. 45 points as it stands. So the Pies will get one last gasp here.
It's been good at the last few clearances. The Pies getting front position.
Cameron to Noble. Time is of the essence. The juggling mark not paid the frost. Just got to kick away, and that might do it. Back to the wing, making Cameron, who came rattling through. Speaking of rattling, Day's bones were just that. More to Warple. And the clock will save Collingwood any further embarrassment. But they were much better in the second half of that third term. But it's been Hawthorn's day through the first 3 quarters. 5 goals to 3 in that turn for the Hawks. And they lead by 45 points. They're on the cusp of a victory against the reigning premiers. Huge weekend of sport, and we can't wait for moving day at the Open.
All right. There we go. So not all. The Pies finally kicked a few goals in that quarter, but the Hawks still outscored them. 5 goals, 1 in that quarter to the Hawks, to 3 goals, 1 to the Pies. What time is it for me? It is 6:39 p.m. in the evening here. They can do their usual fourth quarter comeback. I tell you what, that would be nice. That definitely would be nice, Bell. But I tell you what, 45 points. 45 points may even be a little bit too far for the Pies. And you know what? Especially while the ground is still a little bit wet and slippery, and the ball's a bit slippery. Even with the Herculean comebacks, 45 points. They've pretty much got to stop the Hawks from scoring a goal as well. But the Hawks have scored 3, 4, and 5 goals in each quarter. There we go. I think the only thing the Pies can do from here on in is try and gain a little bit from this final quarter, get their game going well. Even if Hawthorn take the foot off the pedal a little bit, which I don't think they will, because they do need the percentage on their terms to climb that ladder. As we just have a look at the season ladder now, 98.7, that's the live ladder with Hawthorn winning today, level with 8, but their percentage is still low. So for Hawthorn's sake, they need to keep pressing forward, trying to get as big as margin as possible. And there we go. Pies will still be on 36 a game outside, but their percentage has dropped 99. They've dropped 3% today, the Pies, of course. But that's probably what they can do this quarter, the Pies. They did look a little bit better in the concluding stages to that end of that third quarter. We just hope they can bring some of that game. You were saying about Essendon. Essendon's percentage is absolutely terrible for a top 8 side, 98. That is like having, that's like a game. Even though you're on the same points, that's like the game. The next team up's 113. I don't think they'll be able to rectify that. Essendon just need to keep winning and winning and winning. So there we go. Since the Giants won today, they went to equal second. Carlton, I think Carlton play tomorrow. Geelong play tonight. Geelong and the Bulldogs. So that'll be a fantastic game. I think all the Essendon supporters, Freo supporters, Giants, Carlton, Sydney, they're all probably wanting the Bulldogs to win tonight. So that stays around about level. But let's just have a quick look at the player stats. Let's just have a quick glance at who's the top scorer at this moment. 26 for Sicily and Ginnivan, who's having the game of his life. Warple 22, Nash 21, Day 21, Moore 20. All the top possession getters on the ground. Top 6 are from Hawthorn. Nick Dacos, the top one for the Pies, with 19. He's had a slow game, but he hasn't done too bad that late in that second, third quarter, but still a slow game from him. There we go. So there are the possession getters. Just a quick look there. We'll check a little bit more after the final siren. The goal scorers, Nick Watson, Connor McDonald from Hawthorn, both got 3 each. Ambrosio with 2. Luke Bruce with 2. Warple with 1. Sidebottom McGuinness and Bobby Hill, 1 each for the Pies, with DeGoey and Ginnivan with 1. Had a lot of snaps there. Ginnivan. There we go. All right, we will be back. We have a bit of a look. Yeah, they're not too far away. What are they, about a minute away? A minute away. Playing different from last year, that's for sure. That's it, Bell. Probably both sides. Hawthorn have grown into their own this season. I think it was, a few games into the season, they started to fire, and they are playing like a really dangerous side to those teams in the top 8. I'd definitely have my eye on the Hawks and be worried if I was playing them in the next few weeks coming into the finals, because I'm thinking Hawthorn's going to be one of those teams that will push someone out and get there. And of course for the Pies, they're playing different. They've had a few injuries this year on their list. Yeah, they're definitely struggling a little bit like Brisbane. They're struggling also this year as well. but Brisbane just going a fraction the better with less injuries on their side. Essendon needs a lot of percentage. They certainly do. At this point, it's a waste of time in the top 8 spot. I tell you what, you've got to keep winning, though, and you've got to keep being in the top 8 because each game, each week, you know, it could be the difference where you end up on the ladder, whether you're inside the top 8 or outside the top 8, top 4, you know, bottom 4. And we all know the top 4 is a big advantage. Collingwood go up and lose. You good. Well, they you know what, it looks like they probably will lose today. But let's hope they try and bring it home a little bit in the final quarter, and it's about to start now. Good luck, Pies.
Goals. And the margin is 45, so no opposition can completely rest easy. And one of the reasons is to go, he started to get going. Cresp. Can he get some help? Pendlebury, Nick Dacos just considered and decided that a wide handball to Hoskin Elliott. A more meaningful kick. It's spoiled from Riddle. Impey, spin from Scrimshaw, the get-out handball. Back feed to Impey. And he's generously giving it straight back to Hoskin Elliott. And suddenly it's all go for the Pies. If anyone can from there to go in, McStay. This time he has to convert. He just has to. And if he does kick truly here, going on. And he does. And maybe it is. Maybe, just maybe.
And they get to him as you'd expect. A hard luck story we've spoken about. Did his knee last year in the prelim, missed the premiership, and then did his knee properly in the pre-season 7 months ago. He's worked hard to get himself back into this team, and it's the best possible result. So now they start. First time they've won the ball back in their forward half. First time they've been able to intercept and go back in.
And importantly, played on.
Yeah.
Hoskin Elliott, as soon as he got it, he played on, found to go. They get the quick kick in, you get the one-on-one. That's what the forward wants, an opportunity to do that. McStay showing. It's a big, strong key forward. He can take the contested mark, give him an opportunity.
It started in the middle. They all got involved. Dacos got involved, and the Cowie got involved.
Yeah, he's been the difference maker. He barges through there, but it's coming off the umpire.
It's all going Collingwood's way here, Hutto.
Wasn't quite as quick reflex as Matt Stevick as Peter Carey all those years ago.
Could have dived and taken a tumbler. They won't die wondering, we know that. They're going to go here, the Pies.
Cameron with the tap. Elliott's up around the footy. 3 Hawks in pursuit. One of them was Newcomb, another was Nash. To half forward. Moore dictated. Chol did enough. Look at Moore, look at the desperation. Both Moores.
He's been outstanding again, Dylan Moore. He and Day have been magnificent through the middle. We've certainly prized this Sicily and Ginnivan all afternoon, but Moore and Day have been superb.
Darcy Moore and Dylan Moore for their respective sides. Darcy goes back towards the goal square. Dylan stays up around the footy. Cameron, Sullivan. Intensity around the footy. It's going to be hardcore for the next few minutes. There is Moore finding a way to get it out to Day. And to Nash. Didn't look pretty, but it does now. McDonald, the goals were there. He's got 4 goals. Connor McDonald. And that might put the slows on the Pies.
It's a decent return for a high half-forward wingman to kick 4 goals in a game. He's had the 14 or 15 possessions, but most importantly, been able to hit the scoreboard when it's counted. That's just a good snap. He was in a little bit of space. We know that Collingwood have sat off. They've tried to read the play. They haven't really gone a hard man up at times. So he had time to gather the ball, turn. But the snap was a very, very good one.
Is that one of those Irish Conor Nash specials?
Was that a great pass or a lucky pass, Jay?
It looks ungainly, but they get it there.
I think he was trying to get it to.
I think he was.
So kick goals in 7 of the last 8, but 4 goals beyond all expectations. Back in the middle, Meek again down to Newcomb. Perfect service to half forward. Looked away from McDonald. Crisp with the gather. The Pies look to move it away, but Nash and Thorn in their side again. Misplaced handball. Impey, matched in determination by DeGoey. They track the ball into the middle. Hill, clean hands, quick kick, up to the 50. Lipinski can't get to the footy. Now it's Sullivan's turn. Sicily, stay composed, stayed on his feet. Got it through Newcomb. Issues for D'Ambrosio. None that he couldn't overcome. Now Hoskin Elliott turns. Caught in the spin. Had to be careful, Newcomb. He couldn't have executed it better. With all that's going on, you've got to be nervous around every tackle, but he wasn't letting him go.
That was a ferocious tackle. That was right in front of me. That was outstanding at this time of the game.
And he's slinging on his bum, not on his head.
Poster boy for what they hope to achieve, I guess, somewhere down the track.
A bum slung, Jace. It's a half forward. Noble, and they're defending again. Ginnivan with the tackle and the follow. Pendlebury, straight to Day. And then back to Newcomb again. Into Hardwick. They're working around the ring. Little thinks about it. They get a little closer. It is 100th Scrimshaw. Defers out wide to Ward. A better look. A better shot. Not quite.
This forward line has absolutely relished in these conditions. The 13 goals have come from all their smalls. Not one big guy's kicked a goal today for Hawthorn. It's been all of their small to medium players, so they've just absolutely dominated these conditions.
Sam down on the bench. It's not quite the John Kennedy trench coat, is it? But maybe a modern version of it. Elliott doing Elliott things. To half forward to McStay. Howes on the move, but there's 3 Hawks back. Spaced around them, which means there is a little cavity and opening for McGuinness.
A great kick. Really good kick, Chris.
Turns down a few offers, but he couldn't miss side ball.
That is 9 metres, maybe.
That was last week's rule, guys.
Yeah, well, it's clearly not at the forefront of that umpire's mind. Anyway, still side bottom. Is a magnificent converter. So let's hope they haven't put the mods on him.
Not too dissimilar to the grand final kick. That was a little further. And there was a little more riding on it. It's directly in front of goal. It's a 48-metre journey. And it's dead straight from steel side bottom. And they're not going to stop trying at the very least.
So that McStay corridor kick was a ripper because he didn't have many options for it. But he was able to find the target. And that enabled then Sidebottom to find some space. And we've seen him kick some critical goals for the Pies this year as well.
The extraordinary thing, Jace, is that they've only had 30 inside 50s for the game. They've had 18 scores.
Did well to keep this in. Jamie Elliott broke a tackle and then they were out. But this kick here, once McStay gets it, you can see Hawks have got some numbers flooding back. But that's a beautiful kick. That one right there sets the goal up.
4 of the last 5 goals have belonged to the Pies.
Just keep asking the question. Just keep going. We know they won't go into their shell, so and Hawthorn will be acutely aware of that.
Newcomb to Nash again. Dismissive. Chol v. Moore. And the captain of the Pies takes the mark.
That's a bit more familiar, isn't it?
And down the field.
An aggressive line, but he's given Meek the best look at it. Cameron knew what he had to do. Now at the ground level, McGuinness attracts a pretty significant crowd.
Connor Nash has been massive as well. He's had 6 clearances himself for the game.
He's a different kind of second ruck, isn't he? He flipped the ball around. Pendlebury, look at that, Chris. Took a couple with him and he took Impey high. It's coming back to Jarman Impey through the pain he winces.
This would have taken a lot of energy, what Hawthorn have done, Jace, for most of this game. Would they change the way they go about this in the last quarter?
Well, we've seen what happens to teams when they just try to play slow, guys. Saw it with the Bombers last night.
McStay was well set. McDonald surely couldn't kick a 5th goal. Moore to Sullivan. He had no one to give it to at all. All he saw was Brown and goal. And that's what we've been seeing all day. Quaynor tried to dig in, but it's certainly the footy that time.
I think you want to just keep continuing to do the things as best you can that have got you in the position they've got you in. I mean, if they went into their shell now, I think that would be at least giving Collingwood a sniff. That would get their confidence up.
I'm not suggesting they do that.
No.
Just, at the appropriate time, just drag them out, Collingwood, maintain possession a bit.
They can, the follow-up work. Off to Moore, and then to Joel! Well, just kick another goal. Big and small, they've all played their part. No doubt Joel kicks his first. We've loved his pressure work. He's been threatening to kick a goal all day, and now he has. And that might just about put paid to the pie.
Moon's just mentioned a moment ago that the big blokes haven't been kicking the goals. But the interesting thing is it's a really different game from Marby or Chol. He's only had 11 possessions. He hasn't taken a heap of marks. He's only taken, a couple of marks. But what he has done is he's competed.
Yeah.
He's chased, he's put pressure on, he's tapped, he's bumped, he's rucked, he's done all those different things that don't always come up in the stats. But as you said before, you really like this game. I think he's been impressive.
I've loved it, and the rain starts to come pelting down again, so the 46 points is a nice place to be for the Hawks.
Fancy hands from the Dacosses to centre half forward to Goey. Even more fancy and beneficial for Lipinski, but so hard to finish it off.
In these conditions too, so we take that. But that Collingwood ball movement there is what we've seen for the last 18 months, and it ends up in a goal, but the Hawks chase it down. We'll talk about Hawthorn in a minute. Clubs are now going to have to start putting a hell of a lot of work into them, as opposed to Hawthorn coming along and taking away opposition team strengths. They need some work put into them right now, Hawthorn.
It's a great point, Gaz. Cameron to Josh Dacos, wandering through instinctively, knew where his brother was. And for all we've seen today, we can still admire that. He'll never give up, Nick Dacos. Kept them guessing. They didn't quite know whether to go or stay. And Nick found a little channel through and finished off his work as he usually does.
Mirror image of what the Hawks were doing to Collingwood. First 2 or 3 quarters of the game, a forward stoppage. It's Cameron that gets the tap back where they want it into space. Brother to brother. And then they were all terrified. No one wanted to run at him because they think he's going to do something fancy. Yeah, he is. He's going to dance through and kick a goal. Made something out of nothing.
He's a star, isn't he? Yeah. It's a joy to come along and watch him. And he's had not his best day by a long shot, but he still is able to provide some magic. And there's the cracker-like understanding between brothers. And a great finish from the champ.
Back to 40 points. Plenty of time on the clock.
Plenty of time, Jason. Meek on the follow. Maynard versus Moore. Here's Joel. Oh, straight over the line. He hasn't disguised that very well.
Great afternoon. Maynard, pressure's got to him a bit.
More to Dan Brosier. I would have predicted he would have 2 goals and Connor McDonald 4 today. Eternity. Chris, not easy to find a teammate through all of that. Day. Back to Weddle. McGuinness was bearing down. They're happy to just keep flicking it further back till they find some respite. Frosty! A huge talk. Inside 50 and Meek again. And that's a free kick for push.
First time, I would suggest nearly for the afternoon, Hawthorn are feeling a little bit of pressure. Collingwood pushed them back and back and back, and it's just a little bit of heat for the first time. I think Benro was able to diffuse it at 1 o'clock.
He looks left and right and behind.
He wanted the little easy chip kick, take a bit of possession. They didn't get it. Collingwood denied it.
Early work by Cameron, but he doesn't finish it. Hands from Meek. Chol already has one. And now, with all the time in the world, Chol of the day.
Chol of the day. You've been waiting and waiting. Well, you said it was beautiful earlier, because it's the second goal in the last week. If you came along today and watched this game for the first time, and you didn't know anything about anything, the way he's moved around the ground, you would suggest that he's just one of the Rolls Royces of the competition. He's played on Darcy Moore for most of the night. Darcy hasn't been disgraced, but look at this. Look at the laconic nature that he's able to get around Nick Dacos, Selson Candy. He's cruised onto the footy at times where you think, geez, he's not going very quick, but runs past opposition players. And he's had a skill set, and he's had it for a long time. And for whatever reason, it didn't flourish in his last place of business. But I'll tell you what, Sam Mitchell and the group are getting the best out of him right now.
Say it again, Meek last year, and then Ginnivan, D'Ambrosio and Chol. Wonderful recruiting by the Hawks. Their defence now has to get busy.
And further to my point, when you're planning for Hawthorn in games to come, James Sicily has got Tom Stewart type work that needs to be put into him. He is so important. He's now the leading possession winner on the ground, and he just stops you in the tracks.
Disrupted kick, but they win it back. Day. Amon. Length on the kick. Charles Hunt to the back post. Is there some interference?
Yeah, he's got the free kick down, free kick. 3 goals in 5 minutes, potentially. But that's Sicily again, who just, he reads everything so much quicker than anyone else, and he discards his opponent. Like, he sees what's happening and says, well, you're not a factor. So then he becomes the one in the back half that just stops everything. He's a genuine star, James Sicily, and he's playing with a good shoulder.
Yeah. He started a bit gingerly, but hasn't worried as the day's gone on. Joel, who looked like he was going to get a goal, this is eyeing off his third, and his typical Langwood approach and leaves that to the left.
We shouldn't just back over. We should back over. He started gingerly because he's got a shoulder that dislocates.
Yep.
And he's going to be arguably the best 3 players on the ground on a wet, cold day against the reigning Premier.
Competing in the air is the issue for him.
Dacos takes off. Moore tries to help it on its way. In the end, they get the kick curl down towards Richards.
When they've rolled the dice and just taken the ball by the horns, played quick down the middle, they've had success, the Pies. Kind of wonder where this urgency was a little earlier in the game, but I guess they weren't winning enough of the footy to really do it.
I think the pressure of Hawthorn denied them.
Just tease it up. Elliott can't quite get a run at it.
And they weren't able to hit the ball inside their dangerous part of the ground, Jakes. That's been their issue for the best part of 2 months now. It's just getting in dangerous field position.
You can see the inside 50s there. See, it's a big imbalance, 54 to 33.
Can afford to have a laugh on the Hawthorn bench now. Cameron to the front. Oh, Bobby read it perfectly. The goals are coming at both ends. What a flourish.
It's just opening up now.
And I won't be laughing on the Hawthorn bench now. Yes, after another stoppage goal like that, it was too easy. And that's what Hawthorn were able to do to Collingwood early in the game. Now getting a little bit of their own back. Another good tap down forward from Darcy Cameron, and Bobby Hill, the man on the move.
Bobby's kicked his second.
Trying to work out who it was that was just trailing in behind him. I mean, we can get uber critical now, and I'm sure that they'll go to work on it from a tape point of view, but slaps in concentration there, and they've sent a clearance again from the Pies, which has been a lot better. They've won centre clearance 13-1 actually, so that's probably come about in the last 30 or 40 minutes of play.
Hawks took a while to get organised. Joel,
Or in the ruck.
a jump in the ruck.
It's a good thing. It's a really good thing, and this is my criticism when teams are going to lose comprehensively. Why don't they pull tree levers like this? He's been playing fullback under pressure. Just free him up. Then give him a bit of a run around and not worry about the opponent for 20 minutes.
He goes back with Joel into defence as the footy goes the other way. Sicily.
That goes my theory. He's gone straight back to Harvey Child.
Gimpy steps through, and then off he goes to Amon. And the Hawks look to build again. He can get into full stride now. Unwilling to commit until now to half forward, and that is where Moore's located. He gives one to Joel, who was just waiting, and unfortunately for him, can't connect with Moore, and Sullivan steps in.
Had the option of giving the hand pass as well, Marby. Already had someone running past. Thought he could square it up.
Squeeze a kick down the line to side body.
Some guys enjoying some space now, Gaz.
A lot of effort expended earlier, and Gaz has been against this. He's going to try for a talk as well. Extra carry. Quaino not taking any chances. Quick to pick it up, Pendlebury. The call from Sullivan and Noble on the move. Not easy to do that. Ginnivan puts a big tallying tackle on. Day to Moore. Able to play it wide. Safe hands of Ward. Turns down the initial Bruce Lee. Joel wants it long. He thinks he's got command now of that forward line. Side bottom trying to police back there with Hoskinelli to put the fist in. Bruce trying to smash it back to the square. Maynard off the instep. And Ward again takes the mark.
This is where they're kicking to 3-on-1s.
Amon with a full run. Just can't quite get the connection.
That's just where they can keep attacking. They've done nothing wrong today. They can make no wrong decisions. They've got a 42-point lead. They want to keep pulling the trigger. Then you'd never deny them, but there is a chance now just to burn some time. They'll be tired, weary. They're not getting full representation. The last 3 times they've gone in, it's child against 2, child against 3. So there's the time to try and drag a couple of those Collingwood defenders out and burn a bit of time on the clock along the way. That's a good number there too in these conditions. I mean, that first 3 quarters, or first 2.5 quarters, ground balls and contested balls, all the things you hang your hat on in wet conditions, Hawthorn were just dominant.
Yeah, Wall rucking on his own here. Goes, so he is up around the footy. He can grab it and kick it forward to McGuinness.
I know people will laugh at that, but just get the cheap possession like that. They're playing football.
The Hawks looked at each other. McGuinness was happy to try and win it, and they got taken care of by Amon. Remember, he kicked 5 goals, I think, about his 4th game of AFL footy.
Yeah. Well, just when you're under the pump and he's under pressure as a defender, just get a couple of easier kicks and run around. It can't do any harm for Darcy Moore in the next 5 weeks.
And show the greatest
Apart from giving his away. He's 200 centimetres, Darcy Moore.
It's amazing how quickly fortunes can change in footy. He's the reigning premiership captain, and now his team's got some significant issues.
What about that for not having a clear mind? Will Hoskinelli had double fist an uncontested mark.
Sullivan to Dacos, backing back, but he wanted to move forward. Ginnivan, Warple to Chol. I'd love to give one to McGuinness, surely. The Tiger gets his chance, but it's team first. Cue to the goal for Bruce.
Enjoyed his game. I don't know whether he goes on next year or not, Luke Bruce, with all this talent coming through, but he's played with a vigour and energy that I haven't seen for a little while, so it's nice for him to get on the end of one as well. Get him involved, Warple, they've all had a little feed here. And
he was good early, wasn't he, Luke, today? And he's ended up with 3 goals.
He was hitting the packs, like Luke Bruce does.
Good decision from Finn McGuinness, who was involved there when it was up for grabs, and then he moved on again, ran on, and was about to line them up. Saw Luke Bruce get over the back, make a certainty of it.
Easy to forget, he kicked 47 goals last year. And so I think the mindset of Hawthorn is that he can play on another year.
I think he wants to go on, Hello.
Yeah. And those things don't always equal.
It's a bit like the conversation we had before. Maybe one of Van Gunston.
Warple breaks through, sends it back into the middle. Sullivan there. Maybe some eye contact. Back to Scott Pendlebury. And off he goes. Markov to Dacos, being shadowed that time by McGuinness. Ginnivan, another opportunity. He's had 10 score involvements today. As he set up another here, Jath takes off. Down the line to Bruce. Moore's just over the top. Warple calling for it. Meek is pushing forward as well. Nice little tip lead back by Moore.
It's going to look to do the same again. You're going to need your head switched on if you're Collingwood, be looking for a little lead.
All burn 30 seconds.
The umpire is going to... I'll just burn 30 seconds, okay?
Now, I should just go to, mate, I know you can't kick that far. Who are you kidding?
Moore. Oh, 3 players get in the road. With a couple of Hawks moving to ground. Cath takes the mark.
Oh, no.
That's an attempted tour.
Tumble.
Impey, he snakes forward. Why not? Why not me? If you've got the Hawthorn jumper on, the invitation is there. The defenders, the wingmen, the rucks, the rovers, they'll capitalise on any Collingwood mistake. And Jarman Impey puts it through for Hawthorn's 17th goal.
That could be the ultimate sign that the Pies year has just come to an end when Darcy Cameron is running out of defensive 50 and attempts a talk.
You see, he didn't have a lot to kick to. He tried to get distance, but just struck it poorly. And the quick play on. Impey gets involved. And the goal hasn't had a lot of possession today. He's done some important things, some good spoils, good pressure. Just 11 possessions, but now hits the scoreboard.
5 goals in his career, but that's his first of the season.
Even Amon back there, just experience and positionally know where to be.
Well, Amon, was a wingman really, but he's been moved back into defence as they reshuffle things. So Jath has kind of swapped, I guess, to some degree.
Yeah, Ambrosio's the other one.
Yep.
Just made the other wing his own.
Meek likes that forward. Still time for a highlight or two. Playing up, eyes off long on the wing. We can check on him as Scrimshaw snatches. Jaff to the right, goes to the goal square. There's 3 Hawks. Dylan Moore almost on the table. Ginnivan, they play the advantage. No, yes they do. From Finn, back to Jack. Another goal to Jack Ginnivan. Put that one tipped up. These young brash Hawks have had a day out at the MCG. And they are coming.
The party time now. Haven't the small forwards enjoyed themselves today? They have been there in numbers. They've attacked every contest. McGuinness thought it was going to be snapped, so he pulled out late. It proved to be a really good decision, and he sets up another goal. This one for Ginnivan, who's having an absolute ball. Oh, he's something for that. I told you he wouldn't mind doing it at either end, Gav.
There's the lip readers out there. You might want to look away.
All the hand gestures as well, guys.
Yes, exactly. 17-7 ground balls inside their 450. They've won. The team they picked today was perfect for what has unfolded, and their forward half has challenged Collingwood in every way. They challenged them in the air, but at ground level they've slaughtered them.
One of the things they haven't had in recent years, but looks to be growing, is just general leg speed out the mix, so they can play the outside game really well, the Hawks.
And they close oppositions down as well. That's the other thing. The pressure they applied today, that's a bad thing.
Believe us, we spent a lot of years watching Hawthorn with Jason. He's hard to impress, but they have impressed him. No end.
It's begrudging respect from the legend.
No, I like what Sam Mitchell's doing with them. I really do. And they've still got some pieces of the puzzle to be brought into this list.
Oh, Hill tried. Moore is deep now. Hill looking for a free. Thrusts himself forward. Turned down. So Hawthorn have doubled Collingwood today. Sam Mitchell might have his arms crossed, but furrowed brow of a coach.
The symbolism in Ginnivan just putting him 10 goals up too.
Yeah. Jim Stakos squeezes a little snapper goal, but not much coming together for the Pies. 30th disposal it was for Jack Ginnivan, his previous best 23. They're quiet for Jack. Well tried to poke it to himself. He left it there for 3 Pies. Sullivan crafts a nice little kick and a rare bit of space inside the front arc for the Pies and Alex.
Well, he hasn't been able to, well, just their 37th inside 50. So, yeah, the forwards, it's been pretty hard going for them. Jamie Elliott hasn't been able to get at the end of it too much at all. So, it's a problem. Field position's an issue for him.
It's great to see him back last week. It's a nice looking strike off the boot, and through it goes. His first of the afternoon. Just Collingwood's ninth. The dance side better than what we saw at half-time.
Exactly. They had 111, Hutto, didn't they? So since then, they've at least kicked 8 goals too. So the accuracy has improved in the second half. But this is it. It was an aggressive kick out. If Weddle gets his boot on that, Giath is away. He's got paddocks to run into, but he just misses. And then they're able to rebound.
37 inside 50. So 9th week in a row, they've been under 50 inside 50s. So 9 weeks in a row, 64 Hawthorn have had. That's the biggest issue as anything they've got to contend with. And they've got some problems, but they just can't get it into the part of the ground they need to often enough.
3:39 left. Watson making his presence felt out of the middle. Oh, first golden opportunity. McGuinness got close to having a goal off his boot as well.
Yeah, good to see Nick Watson go into the middle of the ground and deep into a fourth quarter.
6 goals to 5 in this final term. It's been a goal fest. We might not be done yet. More waiting expectantly on the outside. Noble and Dacos. Oh, Watson sliding.
Took the legs out. Yeah, good decision from the umpire. You'd like to see him able to do that, Gaz. It gives you that Tom Papley type option, the ability to throw him in for some centre bounce clearances and do those things.
Aussie Pickett doing the same things. The point being that he's obviously, his body's now adjusting to the pressures and challenges of senior AFL footy, and he's still going strong deep into a game.
Good takedown from Elliott. Enables Swan to get it forward. Empty. So take his eyes off the footy. D'Ambrosio, and there's a way out to the wing. More drilling it with Josh Dacos.
He uses the ball well, D'Ambrosio.
Meek is a sizable target. We've seen Newcombe forward. It gets all the way through the cracks to Luke Bruce, and he can roll in with another. 7-goal final term. Started the day well, and is finishing it with a flourish. Is Luke Bruce. He's kicked 2 in the last quarter to make it 4 for the day. Equal high with Colin McDonald.
How many have they got out the back today, the Hawks kids? You just don't see this sort of thing happen to Collingwood, do you?
Look, I don't reckon Markov's going to put this game into his library as one to go back on, and there's a few of his mates as well. Their backline and defensive work's been shambolic, and they'll go to work and have a look at that, but like letting a ball get over the back like that, 3 defenders, Will Hoskin-Elliott has been, he's had a really horrible day, double fisting balls when he's on his own, all these things that you just don't expect from Collingwood. It's been really horrible, but I think Hawthorn set them up. They set them up early in the piece. They pressured them, and the Magpies just haven't been able to recover.
Ward stepped through it and then teased some more on Pendlebury. Warple nicely to McGuinness. Newcombe demanding it in the goal square. Do you think he's Jason Dunstall or something? He is! He might have just flown higher than the new space.
Probably. We saw him in a one-on-one contest with Darcy Moore and Furton, where he used his body really well. Didn't take the mark, but almost did. Now he's showing he can take the overhead mark. So maybe we've got a midfielder here who can then spell forward instead of having to spell on the bench.
Well, there's another bloke who used to wear number 3 and was a midfielder who went forward with some degree of
he was
success.
And this guy's pretty lethal too. John Newcombe. Get ready for another Hawthorn eruption at the MCG. It was time to fly. And John Newcombe did just that. Show his versatility. And there's no stopping these Hawks.
Well, if you're a Hawthorn fan that's braved the conditions, you're just going home as happy as you've been for a long, long time, because you've got a football club that has got all the pieces that suggest you're going to make some really, really interesting games going into September. And if you get there...
I'll tell you who helped him, guys. The way Ginnivan backed into the ruckman, Darcy Cameron, just took away his ability to run and jump at the footy. Really clever work.
Those success-starved Hawks fans...
They've done it so hard.
Long overdue.
Look at that, they've cracked 100.
That's significant.
Yeah, it is. They've been behind. They've been chasing all year after losing the first 5. What a performance at the MCG.
And competition for spots on this side now. There's some that are outside looking in, and you've got Ward trying to make his mark. It's healthy everywhere.
Hang on again. Is there time? Finn McGuinness. Even the taggers can come in and kick goals. Oh, no, he's missed.
That's a shame, because he's been really good since he's come on. He's had 3 or 4 direct goal assists already. Had an opportunity to kick one himself.
Broken tackles too from Collingwood today.
"30 possessions for Jack Ginnivan. 30.
Yeah, he's
31 now with that hand pass.
And
Extraordinary.
it has to be said, Chase, he was left to his own devices when this game had to be decided, and there was no response from Collingwood anywhere.
Just a stunning performance. Impey. Happy to go back if required. All the way back to Jack. Soaks up the seconds. Dictating the terms as they have all day. The Hawks fans will count this season appears to be in tennis. They've lost 4 games in a row for the first time under Craig McRae. But how the coming out party at the MCG. And how far can they go?
There are 4 Collingwood players who have had 20 possessions or more. There's 11 Hawthorn players. They've shared it around. They have just dominated possession. They've dominated 434 possessions to 288 in total.
There's 2 storylines that you can run side by side if you want, and one of them is the emergence, and the biggest one is the emergence of this Brown and Gold side. There's no question about it, the way they're playing today. The other storyline is the demise of the reigning premiers, who are going to be right up against it to ever compete the finals, because they were at times today embarrassed by this side in terms of their hunger and their want, their desperation. Some of Collingwood's defensive efforts and their want to try and cover Hawthorn players was reminiscent of a side that have just got a little bit too hard for them. And so that'll be a story, but the biggest story is this side, Hawthorn, who they're precocious and they're full of run and they pressure hard, and they've got a fantastic captain who sets them up for the back half, and they've got a forward half. It's dangerous as we go down the Cam.
All right, folks, there we go. That's full time here at the MCG, where the Hawks run out big winners, 2013 133 to 9-13 67 for the Pies. Of course, the Hawks put on 8 goals 4 in that final term to the Pies, 5 goals 1. It was a goal fest in that last quarter. Man of the match, I think, goes to Jack Ginnivan, 31 disposals, 2 goals. He was outstanding all throughout the game. And of course, Hawthorn were in full control the entire match. Let's just have a quick look at some of the stats before we head off. Jack Ginnivan there with 31. As I said, man of the match, I think, there for the day. I'm pretty sure he'll get the 3 votes from the umpires for the Brownlow for this round. James Sicily, another star in the back line there for the Hawks with 30. Connor Nash, 29. Warple, 28. Dylan Moore, 27. Will Day, 26. Ambrosia, 26. Newcomb, 25. Look at that, the top 7 or 8 players for the possessions, all Hawthorn. And of course, Nick Dacos, the top for the Pies on 24. I think all players for the Pies pretty much got beaten. Hawthorn were just too strong, too powerful. It was a little bit of an unexpected result. What was it? 66 points, 11 goals. Wow, I haven't seen that for such a long time, folks, where the Pies got beaten by 11 so comprehensively and dominated for the 4 quarters. Collingwood did have that little bit of run on in the final quarter, but I think Hawthorn took the pedal off the gas and just slowed it down a little bit. Let's have a little bit of a look now at the goal scorers, how they finished. Connor McDonald for Hawthorn and Luke Bruce both kicked 4 apiece. Nick Watson with 3. Side bottom and Bobby Hill for the Pies kicked 2, the shining lights. Jack Ginnivan with 2 for the man of the match. Ambrosia 2. Chol 2. Chol played a fantastic game. He was instrumental in their performance today, even though he only had 14 possession. He did the bullocking work, the pressure, the spoils, etc. like that. James Warple with 1. Newcomb with 1. McStay McInnes 1 for the Pies. Impey, a late one in that final quarter for the Hawks for 1. Elliot DeGoey and Nick Dacos with 1. Just to wrap up the fantasy points, Jack Ginnivan with 122. Darcy Cameron, 113. Nash, 112. Ambrosia, 111. James Sicily, 104. They're your top players with 100 plus. Team stats. Well, have a look at the disposals there. Talk about in full control, folks. That's 150 more disposals than the Pies. 434 to 288. Wow-wee. Even the kicks were about 50 the difference and about 100 in the handballs. Inside 50, 69 to 37. Both teams not too bad. 33 scoring shots. for 69 inside 50s for the Hawks and 22 scoring shots for 37. So actually not too bad for both teams. Efficiency, well, a little bit below for the Pies. And Hawks are just about on average. Inside 50, surprisingly, the Pies are up, but I think that's just the lack of inside 50s, where they're having a lot of trouble lately getting an inside their 50 for about the 4th or 5th week in a row. Very low numbers there. The free kicks, pretty normal, pretty even, 18 to 22. Hitouts, well, everything is pretty similar around there, 45, 22, 48, 43. The clearances, centre clearances, 13 apiece. Possessions contested, 156 to 127. Uncontested, just pure domination by the Hawks there, 252 to 135. Turnovers, reasonably high turnover game. As I said, it was wet, but it wasn't too bad in that last quarter. It dried up, which made for a goal party, as we could say, in the last quarter by the both teams. Mark 61 to 51 inside head for the Hawks there, but the Pies 13 to 5, but could not convert with the marks inside 50. There we go. The defensive tackles, pretty much both the same for inside 50s. The tackles, the bounces, 7 to 2 to the Hawks. The 1 percenters, the Pies did a little bit more, but they had to chase. They chased. Looking at the live ladder now. Let me just reload this, see whether that goes to the live ladder. There we go. That win there today, that's pushed Hawthorn up to 40 points. Now that's got them over the 100%, what they've been looking for. All I can say is beware the teams above them. Hawthorn are coming. They played like a top 2 side today. They played great football today, as they have been the past few weeks. They are the danger side of the competition, make no mistake about that. Collingwood down to 13th now, 36. They're still 1 game out, plus percentage, which has dropped. They lost about 4% today. They're going to find it very, very hard now with the run home they got. Mathematically, it's still possible, but unlikely for the Pies. Anyway, folks, that is the game today. Collingwood and Hawthorn. Hawks victors over the Pies, 2013 133 to 913 67 here at the MCG. All right, folks, that's all I got for this one. I'm going to head across now, and we're going to do the Geelong Western Bulldogs game. Thanks, everyone, for coming in. If the Tigers and Dogs win, Dogs may make the 8. I never thought I'd say it, but go the Tigers. I don't know. I don't think I'd ever say go the Tigers either. But it'd make for an interesting top 8, wouldn't it, with the Dogs? Because they're playing pretty well. All right, folks. Thanks very much for hanging in here, to everyone who came in on the live, watching the game, listening to the game with us here today from at the MCG. But until next time, ciao for now. We'll see you in the next game, which will be coming up in about 5 minutes' time. And that game actually starts in about 3 minutes. So that should be a fantastic game, Geelong versus Western Bulldogs. All right, folks, that's all I've got. Thanks a lot. We'll catch you on the next one. Hopefully next time the Pies can do it. Bye, guys. Thanks very much. Ciao for now.